Alrighty then. There we go. Testing. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Oh, okay. It's pulling up. Stream looks healthy. And what do we got here? All right. Oh yeah, we're live. We are live. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this a little bit. Oh, a bit better. Okay. All right. What's going on? Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. The only friend these YouTube streets. Puerto Rock 77. And oh snap! Cryptosity says, "What's happening? Mic sound good? Does it? Nah. Did I finally figure it out?
Well, now you're cracking, so I'm
cracking now.
Turn my headset down. So let me turn my headset down. There we go. these new Sony headsets, man, everything is clean.
Oh snap! Is y'all playing trick on me? Did I finally figure this shit out? Did I figure it out?
That sounds better. Yeah, that sounds better.
Oh snap! Did I are we finally here after so many years? Did I finally got my mic game right? Oh snap! Oh man! Shout out to Fierce Legacy. Says, "Yo, Porter Rock, let's go Knicks, Yankees, Mets, Bills." He's like all the New York teams. No more. We're not separating teams no more. If you're New York, that's it. We winning. Oh man! But anyway, welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend these YouTube streets, Porter Rock 77. And let me put it right here. You need to go right here. There we go. There you go. And welcome to 60 Frames No Lag, where we talk PlayStation. PC, what's much better?
The camera. This is good.
What's good?
This frame is good.
For who?
For you. For
me?
This is good. Yeah, this is.
It's actually. Does it look better too?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yo,
this is
what is going on here? Yo, something's happening today. The mic sound. Yo, the world's gonna end, bro. Yo, that's it. World War III is about to begin. First, the chat's saying that mic sounds good, and Extreme comes in and says, "Man, hey, you got good camera quality, bro. We're going to war.
We're going to war. Frame. You got a good frame. Camera quality. We can work on.
All right, so maybe we're not going all out war. Maybe this is just
exactly. No World War III, just World War
the first incident.
Yeah,
you know, like the assassination of Prince Ferdinand began World War I. So something's gonna happen that's gonna lead to World War III. Then,
yeah, pretty much.
Oh shit, man! This is wild. This is wild. And the Knicks won yesterday also. We're up 3-1 in Boston. Oh man!
Actually, I take it back. This is awful. This is horrible. We can't have World War III yet. GTA 6 isn't out.
Oh man! There's a lot of shit that's not supposed to happen. Yo, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trump
snap.
is a great president. I'm just gonna say these things so that.
Oh man! So hopefully you can delay the inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, delay the apocalypse.
Oh man! This is wild. Okay, man. I don't know. So chat, let me know if the mic's good and everything's set up because this is weird. You know, it's almost like having mic problems is part of the charm of the podcast. It's almost like it's like you're gonna miss it. No, probably not. Right? Yeah. No one will ever miss bad mic quality. That's just not something you miss.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's like the mom and pop restaurant that serves the best food, but you're in the hood. You know, it's just how it is.
That's how you go to someone's house.
Your favorite dish, but you got to risk your life to eat it.
Yeah,
it's part of the charm. It's part of the charm. You know, it's
then
like a good dish.
Like a main street, they get gentrified, and then
then it's like, oh man, they don't use seasoning, and it's just like what happened? It's funny when
they even have delivery available. It's like they got all the
what
conveniences.
So
what's going on?
So when me and my wife, when we visited Italy, right, we spent 10 days there. So we stood in a hotel in Rome, pretty much, right? But I looked on. I'm like, all right, let me look for a good restaurant to eat, right? Let's check this out and stuff like that. And then there was this one restaurant that had like 16,000 reviews, and it was a 4.8. Now that's a lot. Like 16,000 people. That is extreme. Like you don't see it that like you mean 3, 4, 5 is a lot. But at the time, 16,000 over 16 was like 16 and change, and 4.8. I'm like, either this shit is botted or this is the real deal. So I'm like, yo, let's go to this one. Like almost every review was like whatever. I'm like, all right, let's go. This was in their hood, and I recognize. Listen, I know a hood when I see a hood. I don't care what country you put me in. I know hood when I see it. You could put me in Russia, Australia. You could drive me to Australia. I'll look at you, extreme stream. This is the fucking hood, and you be like, damn, Porter, how did you know? I know the hood. This is in the hood. I was like, yo, this restaurant's in the hood, like straight up. A small mom and pop restaurant, but we went in. And they were great people, very friendly, you know. And I'm telling you, I kept it simple. I just wanted a margarita pizza. My wife, she got, you know.
Wait, you go through such an opportunity and that's all you get?
That's, hell yeah, bro. 10 days, that's all I ate. Well, except for one day. But I'll tell you, 10 days, that's all I ate. Margarita pizza.
Pizza?
Oh my God, it's heaven. It's the most simplest thing. It's no waste. Are you kidding me? That is heaven.
Basically butter
no. Margarita pizza is, oh my God, I could kill for that right now. But anyway.
Oh my God, do you also like vanilla ice cream?
Listen. Yes. No, chocolate. No, chocolate.
You like chocolate ice cream?
Absolutely. Who doesn't?
You are the worst person. I'm not going anywhere.
Listen. Just stick to breakdancing, all right? Because clearly these topics. Oh, you kidding me? The chocolate is amazing. It's like the heart of ice cream.
Ice cream is awful.
Get out of here. Chocolate ice cream. Listen, stop it. Man, there's a lot of Australia's really bad at shit. Now we know Australia.
Listen, chocolate is great in everything but ice cream. Everybody knows this. This
guy's on crack, bro. Listen, you got a little dust on the tip of your nose. You got a little bit of dust on the tip of your nose. At least wipe it off before you get live on the podcast. Are you insane? Listen, chocolate ice cream is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
You guys are all
in fact,
insane.
This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do.
Nothing.
Let me tell you something. And this is proven statistics. This is proven statistics. Go to any of your listen. No. Go to any.
Money behind.
Listen. Next time you go to your favorite ice cream parlor shop, right, where they scoop ice cream and stuff like that, I guarantee more often than not, chocolate's the one with the least amount in the stuff because it's the one that's mostly get picked out of all of them every time.
I can guarantee. I would literally go. I will take a photo and I'll post it on Twitter.
You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till the camera places the chocolate thing. No one took it. I'm telling you, more often than not, you see the chocolate bin.
Everybody knows chocolate ice cream is the worst version of chocolate. Chocolate tastes good in everything but ice cream. That is a fact. That's the law of life.
So hold on. So you're probably arguing a different argument. Now, if you want to say chocolate ice cream is the worst tasting chocolate variation of products, I'm not saying that. I'm saying chocolate ice cream. But also chocolate ice cream is better than any other ice cream. That's what I'm saying. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, chocolate ice cream is the king of ice cream.
Why are you arguing with a person that prefers margarita pizza?
Okay, margarita pizza is delicious. Listen, you're in Australia, right? That's the last place we're gonna talk pizza. No one talks pizza. Listen, I'm talking pizza from Italy and I'm from New York. So that's like two things. You got listen. We're not doing this. Listen, you're from Cameroon and you got to Australia. You can't talk pizza on anything. Born and raised in New York and I went to Italy.
And you went to Italy.
No. I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn.
Forget about the pizza. You know what?
No. Yeah, because now you know you lost the argument. Listen,
the chocolate ice cream.
It's amazing.
No,
It's king. It's
I'm
king.
so
It's
sorry.
king.
Yo,
Listen,
chocolate
stick
ice
to
cream
breakdancing.
is the most disgusting version of ice cream and chocolate. It's
You
so
ass.
bad.
Just stop. You clearly your taste
Oh
buds is
my God.
truly
No,
messed up.
hold
Listen.
on. When you say chocolate ice cream, do you mean like white chocolate? I'm gonna try and save this.
No, chocolate.
Like white, like
No,
milk
chocolate.
or dark chocolate.
Chocolate. Well, there's variations. I like dark chocolate. Then there's also, there's like, very lows, but chocolate's the best. Listen, this is not even debatable.
Okay, you know
so
what?
just stop.
Do a poll in the chat. Do a poll.
Okay.
We haven't
Listen,
done a
we're
poll
not doing no poll.
People,
Listen.
hit the like button.
Listen.
Hit the like button. We're gonna give you a poll.
Just go to any ice cream parlor shop. Look at each of the containers of ice cream. You will see chocolate more often than not have the least amount, of amount because everybody's just grabbing it.
I agree when I know I'm right. I don't even know why.
You are wrong. You are wrong. Like, you are absolutely wrong.
You are insane.
Just listen. Next time you go to ice cream parlor, you're gonna walk in and you're gonna be like, "Damn, Puerto Rock's right." The chocolate canister.
I have walked into ice cream parlors.
I even walked in ice cream parlors, and chocolate was like they ran out of chocolate.
And I don't mean chocolate and rum. I don't mean chocolate and alcohol, chocolate and strawberries. No, just chocolate ice cream. It's always the tub that they haven't replaced in 6 months.
Get out of here. That's not even like that thing goes out like that. It's so delicious.
It does not.
And listen,
one time I drove 3 hours
you are wrong.
to go to a chocolate and ice cream place.
You're just wrong.
The chocolate ice cream is always the one where everybody is like, we don't even know why we offer this.
Okay. Well, maybe, listen, you are down under and your toilet runs backwards. So maybe it's just an Australia thing. Worldwide, get out of here. All right. Anyway. He said, all right, here we go. We'll start off. Here you go. Gordo P23. Chocolate ice cream is absolutely disgusting. Gordo, man. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself.
Behind it.
Okay. That's dedication. $2. All right. But shout out to Gordo, man. I'm not trying to dismiss your money, man, but thank you so much for the super chat. JFK TV. The intimate lighting with the neon lights from the PC got me thinking. I accidentally stumbled into Sarah Connor's Wet Nightmare. What the? Wow. What up, fellas? Wow. He's like, yo, Greg, it is kind of creepy. You got like these flashing lights. It's kind of like Matrix cinematography or something.
Sitting.
Oh wait, you're talking about
like Craig. Look at Craig's video.
I like to the PS5 Pro. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
But like you hardly see Craig though. You hardly see Craig. Craig's like in the shadow.
Yeah, I like.
Listen, Craig is like the elusive man. You don't.
He's like I'm Chocolate Thunder and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like whoa.
Listen, when you walk into that room, the soundtrack starts playing. That's what I'm saying.
All right. We got Liquid Data. With a super J says talking pizza to New Yorker. Leave it alone, son. That's right. Australia, leave that combo.
First of all,
listen, I'll entertain the ice cream, but pizza, no. Like just
okay. No. Here's the thing. I don't even have to argue about pizza because you guys have no taste buds. But here's the
Superman,
thing,
that whole
margarita pizza. Margarita.
Because it's simple. That's like the basic pizza.
No, it's not just basic. It's basic.
Yeah, I don't like toppings on pizza. I personally don't like. Even in New York, like pepperoni pizza, I'd be all right. But pepperoni, sausage, or all those combinations, veggies, whatever, I never ate that. I like I go to New York, just a cheese pizza. I've always been
like a fucking white person right now.
Okay, like that. How are you talking about? That's like brother, man.
Like a person that says,
let me help you out. So let me help you out. If you go to New York, most of the pizza are made are plain.
My God.
Like the ones with stuff,
because
they might have one.
That's like, true. Chicago. Chicago
I don't know why
like this guy's bugging, bro. Listen, bro, you're in Australia. What they y'all know
about the food choices?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? Y'all eat like kangaroos. Stop it.
This is just
stop it.
This is literally the fact that I'm even arguing with you.
Okay, there's no arguing.
That you have a point.
Like, okay, there's arguing. You're in Australia. Y'all eat like koalas or some shit.
I don't like toppings on pizza.
Is it like that? Okay, I don't.
You know what that's like saying? That's like saying I don't like
what?
the top slice on a sandwich. It's like that's the whole fucking point.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Pizza without toppings, it's barely a pizza.
That's no, because the base pizza
like
is
marinated bread.
No. Toppings on a pizza is you're putting toppings on a pizza. The toppings don't make the pizza. That's like saying you need pickles on a burger for it to be called a burger. No.
My God.
That's why it's called toppings. Man. You're adding a topping onto the actual item.
You pizza. You're never having pizza. You're having naan bread.
It's literally the name. It's literally the name. Toppings.
No, it's literally you're like.
Because if it was part of the pizza, it would just be called pizza. Okay.
Go to Indian food.
Yeah, no, thank you. Why do you need to go to Indian food?
Because that's naan bread. Just like flat bread with butter on top. That's what you're having.
What is a pizza? Define a pizza. Pizza is literally dough, cheese, and sauce. That's a pizza. Everything else outside of that is you're adding toppings to the pizza. Hence why they're called pizza toppings. It's literally in the name. Pizza toppings.
Listen,
you're adding toppings to the pizza.
Your chocolate ice cream.
Stop it.
Your disrespect for the pizza potential.
Listen. It's literally called. That's literally what a pizza is.
Your food recommendations.
Okay. You're in Australia. Just stop it.
You don't even have pepperoni on pizza.
What? My wife likes pepperoni.
Salami. What?
My wife likes pepperoni pizza.
See, she's good. I'm going to take her recommendations.
That's just a topping, but it's a topping on a pizza.
But it means she has taste. I'm not judging the pizza. I'm judging you.
If you look, you don't have to judge. If you listen, here's the actual fact. When you're in a place that's actually known for pizza, and you go into a parlor shop, most of the pies that are made are plain pies, and that's what most people order. That's why they have so much of it.
You know what? Continue your story back to Italy.
Okay. The number. I even forgot what I was going to talk about. At the end of the day, the food's delicious. The margarita pizza was delicious.
What did your wife order? Because nobody cares what you order.
No, she likes so she always likes spaghetti with Italian sausage. But what was funny
this is why men need women in their lives.
You know what I'm saying? But this is what's funny. This is what's funny. This is what's funny though. So in New York, you can order a spaghetti with Italian sausage, but in Italy, it doesn't work that way. Because the first meal is the spaghetti, the second meal is like Italian sausage with something else. So she had to order 2 main courses, and she had to combine it herself. So I was like, oh shit. In Italy, it's different. So spaghetti is like the first main course, and then after that, the sausage. But we're not used to that. In New York, you could get like spaghetti Italian sausage. Right? So, I think maybe we're more efficient. Like, why I got to order 2 separate meals when I could just order one that has both? But, listen, when in Rome, let me put it this way. Let's say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But here's the second part that's crazy, right? So, they sent me my margarita pie, which was, it was only €5, too. That was amazing. Whole pie, €5, right? But we looked around in, we looked around in the restaurant. They eating it with a knife and fork. So my wife looks at me. She's like, don't you even dare pick that up with your hand. She's like, don't even do it. And I'm like, you want me to eat this with a knife and fork? She's like, look the fuck around. Right? And then she reminded you, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Oh, and by the way, I'm not the only one that was eating margarita pizza. The actual Italians there were eating margarita pizza without toppings. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I'm like, all right. So Italy was the first time I ate a pizza with a knife and fork. Weird. To this day, I'm just like absolutely weird. So I'm just like carving with a knife.
If you're going to have to eat a piece of a knife and fork, it might as well be margarita.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fucking shape.
It could like that, So
yeah.
Listen, I would never trust an Australian on Italian food ever. Ever.
Better than trusting an American.
Ever. In fact, hey, chat, you know what I'll put, let me put this. I'm gonna put this in a poll. This is gonna be my poll.
Why don't you just be the most bad faith poll we've ever had on the stream? Hit the like button. Whatever this poll is going to be, I want you to know that I contested. Okay? In the meantime, people, let me tell you, if you like chocolate ice cream, I apologize for the world not having given you culture. Clearly something went tragically wrong. You are absolutely just lying to yourselves. Some of you may realize it. Some of you may not realize the travesty that was your life that has brought you to this point where you think, and then if you think that chocolate is not only good, but is the best of ice cream flavors, then just do over. Just go to heaven and ask for a do over because this entire experience has been false. There we go.
It's worse flavors than chocolate ice cream, though. You can have chocolate mint ice cream. Which
First of all, that poll is extremely biased. Most of your audience is from the US and they do not know the terrible food they're getting.
All right, so I just looked it up. This was updated. This is from 2024, right? This actually aligns with the thing right here. The International Dairy Foods Association produces a yearly list of best-selling ice cream flavors. Now, this is limited to America, which I admit most of my viewpoint was going in America, but number one is chocolate. This is why I say when you walk into an ice cream, listen. When you walk into an ice cream parlor, right?
How do you have 300 million people?
Listen to what I am saying. Listen to what I'm saying. When you walk into an ice cream parlor, you're going to see all the flavors. More often than not, chocolate is the most empty out of all the flavors because people are picking that one. Like the pistachio is almost full all the time because hardly anyone wants to eat pistachio ice cream. That's why there's maybe like 2 streaks. Hardly anyone eats that shit. So it's always full most of the time. Right? I've been to ice cream parlors, especially like the more trendy, popular ones. I'd be like, hey, do you got chocolate ice cream? They run out. They're like, oh, yeah, we ran out of chocolate. So I had to get like cookies and cream or some other. I'm just saying.
Chocolate ice cream.
Listen. Let's put it this way. Your tasting ice cream is like an Xbox tasting console gaming. You're just a niche. You prefer something that hardly anyone wants.
Xbox is American. Of course it sucks.
Let me put this. Let me say this. Let me look up Australia. Most popular ice cream flavor.
If that shit says chocolate, I'm moving out of this country.
In Australia.
I'm not staying here. I can't bear the shame. Between the breakdancing thing, we can't have chocolate ice cream.
Okay, let's see. All right. So far AI says in Australia, traditional flavors such as vanilla chocolate are still the favorites when it comes to the ice cream market. However, flavors like mango and caramel are also popular. So that's just AI. So vanilla and chocolate are the most popular, but mango and mango and caramel are on the rise as popular choices.
Listen, according to my thing, it's vanilla ice cream that is the most popular. So at least there is that. Now, I'm not saying that vanilla is the greatest, bestest ice cream flavor, but it's certainly a million times better than chocolate ice cream.
And vanilla is like basic.
Wait, hold on. Maybe you guys have some chocolate ice cream we just don't have. So when you go to like your Costco's or your Walmart's or your whatever it is that you go to,
well, we have Haagen-Dazs.
Which brand of chocolate ice cream do you get?
Me? So I prefer Haagen-Dazs. I don't know if you have that out there.
I've had Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream, and it's
So listen, I don't know what to tell you, brother. You're just wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, just like you're just wrong. I don't know what to tell you. I'll say this. I say this that like, when it comes to ice cream, I think Australia is like the last country in the world people think about. It's like breakdancing. You just don't think about it. It's like the Outback. Listen, when we think of Australia, we really think about Angus beef. Like that's it. And Crocodile Dundee. That's it. You got Angus beef and Crocodile Dundee. Those are your 2 things you got.
Listen, I'm not even going to entertain this conversation anymore.
That's it. Am I lying, Chad? Angus beef, Crocodile Dundee. That's Australia.
I thought the Puerto Rican in you was going to actually like save you from the corruption that Americans blame upon you.
Listen, Puerto Rico's not known for Puerto Rico's not known for ice cream.
You should have stayed there longer.
We're not known for ice cream. That's not, we're not known for ice cream. We're known. What was it? What we were arguing? What we were arguing over? Like we're known for plantains.
It's about having taste.
We're known for plantains. That's our shit.
Fair enough. You can have it. We'll agreed on that.
You don't want to get back into that. Like, you know what? We're not getting back into that
We'll had
bullshit.
agreement. You're not gonna
That's true. We do have a truce. We have a truce.
Yeah, exactly.
We do have the truce.
I honor my decrees.
Yeah, I'm honoring it.
Like President Trump, I honor the things I signed.
Oh man, talk about off topic stuff. Shout out to Jimmy Harrison, says big shout out to you brothers, and I agree with him around. Well, Jimmy, are you kidding me? Are you talking about the ice cream or the pizza? You gotta be. Please don't say the pizza. Ice cream, I'll forgive you, because who knows? And chocolate ice cream is for ponies. Absolutely.
Hey, I'm not a pony.
There you go. Okay, I'm a war horse. Really, so that's what it takes. I don't want this right? I don't want so far you're losing the poll. Bad. That poll, you're getting crushed in that poll.
That poll is biased as fuck. Like,
how is it biased? It's a simple question. Who has better Italian food?
20% of people recognize that we have better food.
It's simple.
Makes me happy because it means that some people in the chat have a brain.
It's simple. It's biased. I just asked a simple question. Who has better Italian food? U.S. or Australia?
What do you mean? That is a whole nationalistic question. You should ask about vanilla versus chocolate ice cream. Which is better?
No, that's the question. No, the topic was Italian food. So in pizza, margarita, that's how you started this whole thing. So that's how we're going to end it.
I will contest the fact that most people shouldn't just have margarita.
This is not okay, no, it's delicious. Listen, stop pocket. You eat what you eat, I eat what I eat.
The person that has a sandwich.
Okay, I flew all the way to Italy so I can eat a margarita pizza. That's how I roll. That's how I do.
I wish they had.
Now, the one day I ate something different, right? Because we were in Venice and I had a lasagna. I said, my wife's like, you got to eat something different. I'm like, cool. So I ate a lasagna. That's a lasagna. That motherfucker was like this big and it was like $20.
Better than.
No, fuck that. That was a snack. Oh. This shit was like this big. Are you kidding me? This remote for my AC is bigger than the lasagna. Are you kidding me? I was starving. For $5, and that thing was like 28 euros compared to like this massive $5 margarita. Hello, like, get out of here. Listen, I was happy with my full-size margarita for €5. I looked at even my wife was like, yeah, you should have stuck with the margarita. I'm like, I know. This is why I decide what I want to eat. Let me eat. Let me be happy. 28 euros for like a piece of. I'm like, what? I should have got the margarita. Anyway. All right. What's up, fellas, man? What's going on? What's up, Craig? My man looking like an episode of Cops. With the flashing
Craig,
lights.
You're about to get this smoke. Chocolate ice cream, is it the best ice cream? Yes or no?
I like chocolate. I like the Haagen-Dazs.
Nigga, yes or no? Is it the best?
Haagen-Dazs, baby.
Yeah, it is mine.
Everybody likes Haagen-Dazs. There's no issue with that.
It just sounds
chocolate the best ice cream.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is in the United States.
Oh my God.
But if you
America! Yeah!
Oh my God.
And peanut butter.
We're Team America. Fuck yeah!
On the podcast, a European. Can we get somebody with this?
We're team. You don't like the French. We're Team America. Fuck yeah! America! Fuck yeah!
I'm trying to call people with taste here.
Okay, what's your favorite ice cream?
Listen, man, if you're going to talk about favorite ice cream flavor, you can't.
What's your favorite ice cream? What is it?
Rum
and raisin. And this guy want to call me right?
Exotic.
Who the fuck eats raisins in ice cream? Wow, you put raisins in casserole too? Get out of here! This guy telling me I'm white. This guy puts raisins in his goddamn ice cream. Get the fuck out of here! I thought he was gonna say like caramel macchiato or some fancy shit. Rum and raisin.
I can also enjoy that.
What the fuck out of here? Rum and raisin.
That is amazing on ice cream.
This guy's on crack, bro. Even the chat, you lost the chat. The chat's like, this guy fucked it all up.
Nah.
Rum and raisin. This guy said rum and raisin. This guy think he's Captain Jack Sparrow. What the fuck? You a pirate on the sea? What kind of shit is that? Listen, raisin is like, look, even you got my. I thought you were gonna say like cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream is a great classic.
Or
It's a
or
classic.
caramel
not the same.
macchiato. Yo, I wouldn't accept like espresso mocha, some fancy shit.
No. You
Yo,
can't have
you
coffee in
telling
ice
me
cream.
when you scoop ice cream, raisins in that motherfucker? Get the fuck out of
Rum
here!
and raisin ice cream
Oh my
is
god!
the
Listen,
best.
I can't believe I entertained this
The
argument. I
best.
should have asked that from the get
The
go.
best.
Craig, am I right?
The best.
I should have just
It is
asked, "What's your
different.
favorite ice cream?" We could have moved on from the topic. This guy, he could have
you
named
know what?
any flavor, and he named.
Listen,
Hey, yo,
listen.
brain,
I have
the
one
brain.
favorite.
Shout
The
out to
one
the
with
brain.
raisin
The
I will
brain.
not apologize for. It is the clear, obscure
Brain.
Expedition 33
The brain.
of ice cream. Let me
Brain.
tell you.
Yes,
My
sir.
man said rum and raisin.
That's not alcohol. It's ice cream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, look,
Go
he can
try
like
it.
he can like what he like. That's cool. But I'm with him on the chocolate. I hate
That's
chocolate
right.
ice cream.
Thank you, Brain. Thank
That's
you.
fine. Well, let me ask you
That's
this,
what we call
brain.
you, the brain.
Yes, sir.
Brain. Pick one. Chocolate ice cream or rum and raisin?
Neither.
Okay.
Neither.
All right. So, okay, I'll give you that then.
Wait. Hold on. The brain. Have you had rum and raisin ice cream?
No, I didn't even know we even sold that shit.
Well, then,
I want that
you
shit.
gotta go try it. You gotta go try it.
I
Don't knock
want
it till
that
you try it.
bullshit.
Hell with that.
Let me tell you, rum and raisin ice cream is the PlayStation Portal of ice cream. You think you won't like it, and
Raisins
then you love
and
it.
ice cream. You should get slapped for that one. Raisins and ice cream don't mix. This shit don't
Man.
go together.
You
Give me some vanilla
know
from
what
Mr.
you are? You're a
Coffee, I'm cool.
Neanderthal.
No,
You are a
this guy,
person that has
this guy
evolved past the
really talks shit
basicness
about
that we
chocolate
achieved
ice cream.
500 years ago.
Wow, imagine, do you drink rum and raisin milkshake too?
No, obviously not. Because some of us know that certain flavors should be tied to certain items.
Oh my god, that is this guy gave me upset stomach, man. Let's go. Hey, Craig, what's going on, my brother?
What's happening?
All right, man. All right. You're chilling, everything good?
Holy shit, even Trucknet agrees with me. That's insane.
That actually proves I'm right. If Trucknet agrees with you, that's not
That's
not a
proves that
win.
it bridges.
You
I'm
should have
telling
been like right now you should take a pause and be like, wait a minute, Trucknet agrees with me. Maybe I am wrong.
No. Listen.
Anyway, how are you doing? Listen, don't even ever offer rum and raisin. That shit, I'm gonna field goal kick the shit out of that bowl.
Listen.
Raisins and ice cream.
Listen.
Disgusting.
I am so disappointed in you.
No, tell me. No, you should have picked like you should pick this.
I'm not mad.
Trust
I'm
me.
not mad.
That's like an Xbox fanboy saying
disappointed.
they're disappointed in me buying PlayStation. We good. We okay. Rum and raisin.
Like chocolate ice cream.
I need some Pepto Bismol.
Listen.
Oh man!
Listen.
All right, how you
Everybody
doing?
in the chat, do yourselves a favor. Listen to
Don't
me.
eat rum
Go
and
try
raisin.
it.
Don't eat rum and raisin. That shit's probably illegal in 30 countries. Don't eat that shit.
Because of how heavily it is.
Don't eat that shit. Don't eat that shit. Don't eat that shit. Australia must have like too much raisins, so they decided to put it in ice cream. Just to,
You are the
figure
person
it
that
out.
likes
That's just
margarita
disgusting.
at pizza.
Oh shit!
Jesus, please, sit down.
I guarantee
please.
more people eat margarita pizzas than rum and raisin ice cream.
It's not about how many the consumption
I guarantee
of it.
more people.
Well, there.
In fact,
Obviously, it's not a popularity contest because most people do not have the fine taste.
Raisins and ice cream is the most disgusting shit. Like, hi, so how you doing, my brother? You okay? You okay? Extreme? No, yeah, I'm talking to Extreme
wait,
now.
you're talking to me. You're talking to Craig.
No, Craig's good. You good, Craig? He just reminds me of Batman, a man who don't talk a lot at this point.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Can't complain.
All right. Okay.
I stopped playing Expedition 33, and I started playing something called Clair Obscure. So I don't know what the differences are because
I was about to say fuck you, but then I think you're trying to make a joke, so we're good.
Because I don't know what the name of that game is. So, but
the name is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. It has a subtitle like Horizon Zero Dawn. You know.
So it could be like Clair Obscure Expedition 34.
Yeah, but no, not with the
Expedition 66.
No,
I
it's
know
not.
Expedition
It's,
69.
can you just play the game so you understand? how
Expedition
it's named that way?
69.
It was coming.
Chocolate
not
Chocolate
bad.
Thunder Edition.
I mean, there was an Expedition 69. You can find the journal in
He said,
the thing.
he's a Clear Obscure
Yeah.
Chocolate Thunder Edition. Chocolate Thunder DLC.
That's fun.
Oh, man.
It takes you back to the good old fashioned JRPG turn-based combat.
I heard they nerfed
But,
it.
yeah, playing that.
I guess there was a
Huh?
move that was game breaking, or maybe it was like you
The
one
nerf,
shot.
the nerf one skin.
What is
nerf
it?
one
What is
skin.
it?
It doesn't. It was Stendhal or something like that. It has a rename.
Stendhal. Why they nerfed it though?
Yeah. Yes, but it's only by 50%. And honestly, they didn't really nerf it. They just brought it back into balance with everything else. It doesn't break the game. You can still break the game with many other things.
Okay, but why did he? I never understood why would they do that single player games, especially like when it's already been released
Because
for
you
like
could
weeks.
one shot literally the hardest boss in the game.
So I agree, but the thing is, it's too late.
What do
The
you
people
mean?
already played it, so all you're doing is nerfing it for future.
Yeah.
Like it's already
so
done. The damage
then
is
they
done.
can
You might
have
as well
the-
just leave it.
they're just-
You might as well just leave it alone.
No, because they created this amazing combat system, and then people were just going to like one build. Like you have
Okay.
like thousands of permutations, and then everybody was just choosing the one.
Oh, so God forbid people enjoy the game the way they want.
No, it's just like it completely broke the game. Like it broke it
They
beyond.
didn't break the
breaking.
game. They didn't break it.
Yeah, it did.
People enjoyed it. No, they didn't. People enjoyed it. Let people enjoy things. It's a single play game.
But you can still break it. It's still super powerful.
It's
Like,
not
you can
breaking.
still- instead
It's
of like
just-
doing one shot, it takes like 5 shots.
So let them
to
one
kill the
shot it.
person.
Let people one shot. Some
No.
people play games because
No,
they want to
because
feel
then
like,
you don't even get to experience what the battle
No.
is supposed to be.
no, who cares? You're supposed to experience
No,
joy.
you're
Let
not
them
One
experience
Punch
joy.
Man. That's bad.
No, let them be
They
One
are
Punch
correct.
Man. Let them be One Punch. They want to
No.
one shot the fuck out of somebody.
No,
Let them.
no,
If
no,
they
no,
don't,
Sunshine, are you
then they
kidding?
just listen.
If I was a game
Listen. If you
developer
don't want to
and I
listen,
put
if
in
you
a
don't want to
whole
one
bunch of
shot,
mechanics-
listen. If you don't want to one shot the character, don't pick the build. Let the user make that decision. Like, oh, this build is too powerful.
Because it was
I don't
not
want to do
intended
it.
to be your
I'll do it.
experience.
What?
It wasn't intended to be your experience.
But it is.
If
Yeah,
I'm going
listen.
and putting all of these battle
Listen,
mechanics to make this fight
guarantee-
unique, and then you just
I gu-
skip over all
listen,
of that, I have the
I-
right to be like, I'm going to rebalance this thing.
Listen, but you have the right to rebalance it for what? People already enjoyed it and already doing it, and they're liking it.
But then it's like 8 million more people that are going to buy this thing. And
Okay,
at
so
least they can have the same
and
experience.
let them enjoy it the same way the people who bought the game before enjoyed
I
it. Just leave it
disagree with that.
alone.
I
Leave it alone.
I support the artist to give you the intended experience.
Okay, just leave it alone. You got the intended experience, but it released like, oh, we messed this up. But if people are enjoying it, like, oh, this is fun, I get to do this.
No,
You're like,
do
you know
know
what?
You sound like? You sound like people
leave it
that say
alone.
that Spotify should allow you to fast forward the song or to play
Okay.
it at faster speed. Like, no, it should not be allowed.
I could fast forward songs on Spotify.
No. I mean, like, play it at the fastest. You know how you can change the play speed?
Mm-hmm.
Some people
But why
think
not?
that you should be able to change the play speed of a song the way you can do it for a podcast. I disagree with that.
Why?
Because the artist intends for you to hear the song at the beat and the rhythm that they have created, and that should be preserved. The user should not be allowed to make it go faster.
But the user can do it though. They'll just find an alternate means. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, if you
like,
find an
once-
alternate
once
means,
you-
sure.
once-
Like,
listen,
if you mod the game,
listen,
you can break it, sure,
Yeah,
no problem.
see.
But from the original source, there's going to be restrictions to what you can do.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying, like, if the people are enjoying it a certain way, you know what? Let people enjoy it. Like, what's done is done. No,
Nah,
I don't
I
want you to enjoy like the game that's released. I'm going to ruin it for you by doing something that's already after
But
the
it
fact.
didn't ruin the game.
It whatever.
It
Okay.
didn't ruin the game. It's still
Well,
good.
there's a
It's
lot of
still
people
fun.
complaining. They should have left it alone.
But that's because people they're losers. They don't even want to try. They just want to be able
What?
to like get the trophy off of one shot.
So let them enjoy it. So let them enjoy. That's
No,
why we had. That's why
not
we had cheat
enjoyment,
codes for
that's just
things. You know what I'm saying?
laziness.
That's not laziness. That's
Gamers
just
are
what
supposed to get
like.
good.
That's why they have easy mode too. There's a whole reason for that. Games have story mode, which completely is nothing like the
and
actual
this one
original
allows
experience.
you.
Mm-hmm.
This one allows you to have story mode.
But that's what I'm
you can
saying.
still
So
tell your experience
so-
wonderfully.
but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so it's okay to break the game or to have less experience in one way but not another way. At the end of the day, the only time I think developers should really put the energy into rebalancing game if it's multiplayer, because it involves other people. So game breaking can ruin the experience of another person. That I agree with. You're trying to balance for the community. Single player game, who gives a fuck? Trying to make it fair for the NPC? Oh my god, the bad guy's getting shot. Oh my god, we gotta consider his feelings. What happened? And the thing is,
listen,
a game. Here's to put it this way. Let me put it this way. If you said one shot, let me put it this way. But you said, but in order to do that, the player has to pick that specific build, right?
Okay, yeah. Any build around Stendhal would have been able to do it, but sure.
Okay,
yeah.
But now if the players be like, "Hey, I don't want to." I want a challenge, so I'm going to put at the hardest level, and I'm not going to build around this broken build. I'm going to build it around this more other build that's give me the better experience. So if the gamers really want that, they'll do it.
No,
but if everybody's picking, if everybody's picking this build, it's because that's what they want to do. So let them do it.
People are picking this build because it's the easiest way to get through the challenge.
So let them do
it's
it.
What they want to do. No, it's not what they intend. That's not what is intended. Listen, the game, even now, post balance is still a super powerful move, and it can still one-shot a lot of enemies. It just means that against the hardest bosses, you actually feel some level of challenge, which is good.
Even on easy mode?
Even on easy mode, yeah.
On story mode?
Yeah, story mode, yeah.
There's probably no challenge on story mode either. Because that's the whole point of story mode.
There's
Very little
challenge
mode.
on story mode, because story mode doesn't really change a lot except from how much damage you receive and the window.
So Kismu got exposed. The game was too hard. He put on story mode and he beat it. People are making fun of him because he literally switched to story mode live on the air.
Let him enjoy it that way if he wants to.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's what it's there for. It's intended.
So there's no combat.
Story mode is never combat. If you pick story mode in games, it's literally you're just doing it for the story. There's very little effort in any game you pick story mode. It's little, you must really suck in story mode. Because story mode, the whole purpose is to go through the story. Really, that's really what the whole purpose of story mode.
Story mode is there no combat? That's what I'm just.
No, very little. Probably is combat, but very light. Probably little effort. Very little effort to actually.
You're talking not in this game. In this game, story mode can still kill you because it doesn't give you that many.
Smooth beat it easily, so it can't be too hard.
I mean, yes, if you're going to go against just like the mainline story, like you beat the story, it's a lot easier. But if you're going to go to the optional combat challenges, no, the late game things can still.
It's probably easy. It's probably easy in story mode. It's ridiculous. Story mode, nah. Maybe for casual.
Listen. As much as I agree with you on the story mode,
I play tactical RPGs in hard mode. So unless you're trying to say this is like the Dark Souls of RPGs, of turn-based RPGs, which I doubt.
It can be a very hard game.
This guy's bullshit. You're a fanboy for Claire Obscure.
Wow.
I can see. Crazy. I can't trust.
The one person that's actually played it.
I can't trust. I think you're too. I think you're too institutionalized. Well, you did say it's your top 5 game of all time. I think you're institutionalized.
It is one of the top 5 games of all time.
I think you've been institutionalized. They got you.
Oh my god! Listen, chat. Just tell him that I'm right. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. JFK TV or Super Day says Australia got them animals and critters that kill at will. I trust the survival instincts of all Australians before food takes. Love you, Em. I agree. If I need to survive the zombie apocalypse, I'm all ears.
Listen.
But I ain't no fucking way you're gonna recommend rum and raisin.
Compensation.
Rum and raisin.
If you haven't had rum and raisin ice cream, I don't even know how you're talking.
Danny Stab with the super chat. M eats kiwi frogurt with raisins. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh man, now that chat's gonna bring up some of the weirdest foods ever. Oh my god. Oh man. This guy reminds me of, like, you ever seen Temple of Doom when they had the dinner and they were eating chilled monkey brains? That's the shit M would make us eat. Like, the fuck? Anyway,
Probably not.
Brain, what's going on, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Y'all had me all the way up until chocolate ice cream, but I think vanilla ice cream is still the best. And
Okay.
as far as food, I get exactly what you're saying. Getting some of the best foods is from the hood spot. If my life is not in danger, I don't want to go. And as far
Then it's not
and
good
as
enough.
far
If the city's safe, the food ain't good.
right. And then I do believe in keeping things simple is the best way to go. I think it's three things that if people fuck up, you shouldn't be cooking. Pizza is one of them. Peanut butter and jelly and chicken fingers. If you fuck up those three for any reason,
If you fuck up peanut butter and jelly,
That's gonna be impossible.
like, yo,
nah,
for
like,
real,
you'd be surprised.
yo,
You'd be
wow. I would love to see the person that fucks up peanut butter and jelly and and what is it, chicken fingers?
And chicken fingers, yep.
Oh man, if you
I don't
fuck up chicken fingers, how can you
that
fuck that up?
right. That's what I'm saying. To me, those are the
Yeah.
three easiest things. And then lastly, as far as I'm with you on this one, I'm not a gourmet type of food person at all. I like to keep things as simple as possible. But
Mhm.
if I go to a restaurant and I gotta pay $120 for a plate and it's aesthetically pleasing, but I'm still hungry, I got a problem.
Where the aesthetics is more important than the actual
Meal.
content, like the amount. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Yep.
if I'm walking out that restaurant starving,
I got a
F.
problem.
F.
Yep.
F.
But other than that, I'm good, man. I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually like that game. This is the first time I play. I think this is the first Assassin's Creed game that I ever bought at full price, and it's worth it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So we did the little chit chats. That was a good chit chat. Now we know M eats rum raisin ice cream. That wasn't in the calendar of 2025 at all. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Got me on that one. All right, we'll start with the first topic. So we'll start Ori Dev. Let me put this on the screen right here. Apparently, I never honestly thought that review bombing was really that impactful, but apparently for some games it is. The title says, "You might just cause our death. Ori developers take stand against alleged review bombing." A couple of summary notes. Moon Studios could potentially shut down if review bombs continue to impact No Rest for the Wicked. Its lead revealed. Taking to Discord, Thomas Mahler alleged that review bombs are impacting the game's ability to draw sales, which impacts profit. That said, it appears that while there are negative reviews for the title, it isn't a traditional case of review bombing with actual legitimate criticism being levied. By this point, it's no secret that review bombing can have some serious impact on a game in its studio. It wasn't too long ago that even Take-Two noted that review bombs have the potential to cut into potential profits, as well as harm the reputation of a company. In the latest case, Moon Studios, the team behind the Ori duology, has come out to take a stand against review bombing and its potential impact, specifically the fact that it could lead to the studio's closure. Review bombs impact sales, which impacts profits, which can lead to closures. As first spotted by Windows Central, Moon Studios founder and lead Thomas Mahler, has come out against those who are allegedly review bombing its latest title, No Rest for the Wicked. Currently, the game's most recent reviews are classified as mixed, though the game as whole is considered mostly positive based on over 30,000 reviews. I think people think I'm joking when I'm asking for positive reviews because in people's minds, there's always some big publisher in the background who will cover costs. Miller wrote on Discord. Folks, if you're writing here and are enjoying Wicked and are excited for future updates, but haven't left a positive review, it is entirely possible that we won't be around in a couple of months to do anything anymore simply because we got review bomb, which leads to people not buying the game. The lead went on to ask fans to get the review score back up, because if sales don't start coming in, you might just cause our death by leaving the negative review that you posted because you want to listen to feedback, which we do anyway. It's worth noting that the game isn't necessarily being review bombed in a traditional sense. Looking at Steam, some of the negative reviews do have legitimate criticism behind them. For example, while I love the art style, the story, and to a degree the combat, the rest feels half-baked, obtuse, and unnecessarily punitive to the point I found myself going why multiple times in my playthrough. part 1 review read. It seems like while Mahler does have a point about the impact a review bomb can have on a game, there are some actual issues with Moon Studios' title that warrant negative reviews. Asking people to hold back a negative review that is legitimate isn't the best way to go about things either. Only time will tell what fate has in store for Moon Studios, right? I think he did a follow-up comment saying we're not going to go away, but it is bad, whatever. But here's my thing. And here's my question. If actual gamers, because Steam, I think, is verified, right? The only people that can leave reviews are the ones who actually bought the game. It's not like Metacritic, where you could create an account and
And it will
type shit.
also
So,
tell you how much a person has played the game.
exactly. If a whole bunch of people have issues with the game they're playing and that they bought, and then you can verify, oh, yeah, they put some time into it, right? It's not 0 minutes or whatever, or 5 minutes. And majority have negative criticism, or there's a decent amount. Can that be called review bombing? I'll start with Craig. Is that review bombing?
Well, I mean, if it's legitimate criticism, then no. But I just think that too many of these developers have it seems like they have their entire livelihood attached to what other people are thinking. And your game, your IP, whatever you're making, it should be able to withstand people not liking it. Now, I understand what he's saying. Is it stupid and petty? Yeah, but there's a bunch of people who don't have anything else to do, and the internet. If you leave like Twitter for 2 weeks and go back, you'll see it's a cesspool. That's what it is. I mean, that's people are constantly complaining, and that's why leaving the. I agree that I like the way Steam does it. You can't leave a review unless you're that you are certified and you got it. So I hope Open and Metacritic go to something like that. So
yeah, because user reviews on Meta to me is pointless. Like anybody can leave something. There's no verification.
Yeah, it's like it's like Reddit or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's silly all the way around. But there's a bunch of this people who are waiting around to do just that, just to do negative stuff because they can.
Mhm.
So that's why I've said before, the whole thing with people reporting rumors and things like that, I think your channel should take a demerit hit on YouTube. Like, hey, if you're just gonna be reporting rumors, then there's really what's the point of your channel? I don't get it. So, and people were telling me Grand Theft Auto got delayed till next year, and I said, well, they never had a release date. They had a window where they were shooting for, but they never had a release date, so it didn't get delayed. It got pushed. Same with the Marvel game. The Marvel game, it got pushed. It's still in Q1 of 26, but it's still Q1 of 25. It's into push to 26. But yeah, but as far as review bombing, I mean, they do it with TV shows, they do it with games. It's stupid.
For legitimate reviews from people who bought the game and they're actually typing out could that be considered review bombing though, or is it just the developer not accepting the fact that you got issues, bro? Don't blame it on review bombing. Accept the criticism.
Well, like you said, there is some legitimate criticism of the game. I don't think people are above the legit criticisms of any intellectual property. I have a New Wave oven. It's good, but it's some criticism of it, trying cleaning it and stuff like that. Those people that did those criticisms were real, and it's like with Amazon, it is a verified purchaser or something like that of the product. Yeah, we need. I'm hoping, and if you're going to be out there that reading reviews, which I never do. I always say just go make up your own mind, and if you don't want to buy something at full price, just buy it on sale. However, there's people need to man up and go make up their own minds, and if there's something out there you want to try or do, then do it. It's stupid at this point. With some, it's not everybody. That's the good news, but it's a vocal minority of people.
Okay, so I guess it's big enough that the developers having issues, right? The Brain, what do you think about this, right? Actual criticisms from verified purchasers on Steam, but I guess there's a lot of negative reviews that caught the attention of the developer, and now they're scared that this could potentially hurt them in their profits, but they're calling it review bombing. Is it really review bombing? Are they trying to
No,
change the narrative of what is happening?
I think they're trying to paint themselves as a victim, and if it's truly legitimate criticism, then those people that played that game or purchased that game, they doing exactly what they supposed to do. And I think it's probably entitlement as well too, because if this is the Ori dev, and even though I never played any of the Ori games, but I know from from the gaming review sites, those games are pretty much acclaimed. So to me, it seems as though that I'm gonna use the term. It seems as though like the whoever's complaining about this is a prima donna, and they feel as though that they are entitled to have that this new game is entitled to also be critically acclaimed as well too, because their other games were. But this is the this is the silly part. The fact that I have never. This is my first time ever hearing about any video game company they could potentially go out of business because they got in bad reviews. To me, it's like, well, make it. Fuck it. Your business should not be based on reviews. Like, what is this? A restaurant? It should be based on whether or not if your game is good. Like, if your game is good, then the product should speak for itself. I know with certain with certain developers or publishers, if the game gets really high scores on Metacritic, then they get bonuses. To me, I think that's far fetched. But the fact that hey, if too many people review this game and gets a negative review, then we may go under. To me, that's absolute nonsense. I mean, that's the house of cards that you built your business upon. I mean, why would you? Whoever is their chief operating officer or a CEO or any executive that decided that metric or that was a good idea to base the business off of, I don't want to be harsh, but maybe he deserved to go down, because that's just fucking stupid. Who the hell? That's a gamble. I mean, that's a crazy gamble. Who the hell would do that? I mean, I really don't got much to say on this, because this is totally silly. It's like you can't. Oh, I made a game. You gotta like it, man. Fuck you and your game. That's my answer. Fuck you and your game.
Oh shit. He said, fuck you and your mama. Oh, shit. All right. All right. All right. All right. Extreme. I know that made Extreme happy. How about you? I know you initially said
I love
no,
the
but
passion.
yeah.
Yeah, no. It's not review bombing. Listen, I think it's good for him to inform his audience that hey, these have real consequences. But at the end of the day, let's face it, Steam has the best review system out there, bar none, right?
Mhm.
Of all of the platforms. The verification, the scrutiny that you can give to each individual review, the way that they actually do address moments where there is a review bomb, and they will show you in a graph like, hey, there's been like a substantial amount of negative reviews in a short period of time, and how that might be different from the usual kind of reviews that the game has gotten. They've got a lot of tools in place to highlight when there has been review bombing. And it doesn't seem from what he's saying that this is the same case with this game. It just seems like, hey, people are going through your game, it's in early access, and they are feeling like, yeah, there's lots of components missing. And that is part of what you take on when you're in early access. Yes, people can come and be pleasantly surprised with all of the progress that you've made and the concept of the game, but they also do naturally come across things that are not polished yet. And if they're going to review you negatively based on those things that are not yet finished, it might seem unfair, but you did charge them money. So for me, I'm like, well, it is what it is. At the end of the day, a person paid for a product and they are allowed to review that product as they got it, even understanding that it is early access. So for me, I'm like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like there was any malicious intent behind this particular thing. Now, I think you could encourage people that are enjoying the game to post, like actually review positively in order to kind of counterbalance those things. But you should never ask people who have left a negative review to change their review or to not leave a negative review in the future because they have to worry about you keeping the lights on. At the end of the day, that's your business. The customer paid for a product, they're allowed to review that product. It doesn't matter to me. Like if I buy a product, and I know it's not in early access, but let's say that I bought this freaking measuring tape, and then I review this measuring tape because I bought it and I'm using it, and I'm like, hey, I leave a negative review. Cool. And then Stanley sends me a message being like, hey, if you leave that review, we might go out of business. I'd be like, the fuck does that have to do with me? Like, I'm not, I'm not
Maybe
your
you
shareholder.
should.
Yeah,
If you
I'm
keep
just
selling
like,
shit like this,
yeah, I'm just like,
that's how it
that has
works.
nothing to do with me. That has
You
nothing
know,
to do with me. Like, I'm not
I
your
asked a measure
employee.
tape and it has feet. I'm in Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck?
Actually, this motherfucker does have feet. It's disgusting.
Win. I'm just playing.
Disgusting.
Hey,
But
hey,
it's
hey,
okay.
Extreme looked at me like. Extreme looked at me like.
Disgusting thing.
What
But
are
yeah,
you gonna
no, it's
say? Oh, was Brain gonna say something?
yeah, I was. I didn't mean to cut off M.
What about?
no. I was basically I was just wrapping up saying that at the end of the day, the customer is not your shareholder. They are not an employee of yours. They do not owe you your, I don't know, continued existence. So
Loyalty.
it is what it
You
is.
know what? We're gonna add a topic to that point. Go ahead, Brain.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then also, if this game is in early access, and we had already talked about games being in early access. I mean, right there, to me,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think early access is a problem within itself. I mean, unless a game was close to being finished, I don't understand why. To me, I think when developers put a game out, I ain't gonna say all developers, but with some developers, I think when they put a game out in early access, to me, I think that's a move.
Oh, that's interesting.
No. All right. Let me do this super chat. I want to bring up a new topic thanks to Extreme's final point. Gordo P23 says, I agreed with you on the ice cream thing, but now you're not making any sense, Extreme. You lost him with the raisin. You lost everybody.
No, it wasn't a
Listen,
raisin. It was
you lost. The
the
what?
it was the clear obscure devs balancing out the move.
Oh,
That's
that
what he
maybe.
was
Nah,
talking
I'm still gonna say
about.
rum raisin. It sounds better. The club score makes more sense than a rum raisin.
Bias.
that made more sense than a rum raisin. But good, like the whole. I'm not your shareholder. I'm not this. I'm not responsible. But let me ask you this: did the gamers create that environment where developers feel entitled to do things like that simply because, and you probably heard this all the time, support the developers? That's why I always hated that term. Could we have created, and we meaning ya, because I don't speak French, but no, seriously, could a group of gamers or a lot of gamers nurtured a level of entitlement in developers thinking that they are owed stuff from us? Because we keep using words like support the developer. That's why I always hated that term. I always hated that term. The whole support the developers. I'm like, why is that term used for game developers or the gaming industry? I mean, why is it not applicable to BMW? Support Porsche, support BMW. Like when I got that margarita pizza, I got it because I wanted margarita pizza. I didn't go, I want to support this restaurant in the hood. It's just, you make something good that I want to eat, I'm going to give you my money. But it's not like I'm doing it with my first thought of, oh, I'm going to give them money because I got to make sure they stay in business, regardless of whether the product is good or not. I'm not like that with any store, with any product. If I'm giving you my money, it's because I want that product. And as long as you keep making good products, you get my money. But my first thought is, oh, I got to give this company or business my money so they can stay in business, even though I don't really care for the. No. What do you guys think? So we'll start with, Craig. We'll go back around the circle. Craig, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Did gamers create this entitlement, or are we seeing entitlement among developers because now they feel like we should support stuff? Like they should be supported in their endeavors.
It's supposed to be it's almost like you're in a handshake agreement. So I was in an early access or early trial for a game called War of the Worlds. And literally when I was done, they emailed and said, well, what did you think about it? And I said, well, what is the point of the game? It's just, are you supposed to like survive for 5 to 7 days like they did in the book? Well, not the book, the movies. Are we supposed to, and then is it going to be, it was like, is it going to be real time? So if I start at Sunday at 7 p.m., I do Sunday at 7 p.m. and I stop playing at 11 o'clock the same day. Well, does the game just save for 4 hours and then I come back? I mean, these were just questions I had. So that's why I said it's kind of a handshake agreement. That's why the demos are important, and then they can get feedback from that. But overall, I think there is some entitlement. I think I've been saying that for years. There's an entitlement issue, because again, we do it with DCS as well. They will give us early access. I had early access to the Afghanistan map, and then they literally email you and say, okay, what did you think about the map so far? You know, what do you think about the mountains? What do you think about the draw distances? Things like that. So, and you're supposed to be kind of, like I said, you're in a handshake agreement in a sense that you give the game fair criticism. Like M was saying, you know, there's things that people are expecting to be there that may not be there, and that's a developer choice. Like there were things in Helldivers 2 that I thought should have been there earlier, but they were adding things constantly. So the same with other games, Witcher 3, other things that were added in. So that's why I keep saying the game Days Gone. That's why I always say, how come they can't add something in where you can change the character's clothes, you know? So, but that's not here or there. So is there some entitlement? Yes. Is it supposed to be a handshake agreement? You know, we'll give you the access, you give us honest feedback. Don't kill us. You know, don't kill us. And that's unfortunate. It's like when I go see movies, I get early access to movies, and they're simply asking, you know, write it down, you know, turn it in on a tablet, and then we can go ahead and start calculating different things. You know, the music at one part maybe didn't sound good. I did that for the movie Tenet when it came out. I'm like, okay, this is just not edited differently because it was during the pandemic and the music was loud. You couldn't understand some of the characters sometimes. But when you watch the Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray or whatever, you watch it digitally, they fixed it. You know, it's like they went back in and fixed it. So, but yeah, like I said, it's entitlement. There's just a lot of entitled people, and they think, well, the games are going up, and it should be a perfect product when I get it. You know, there should be no flaws, very few bugs, because you're raising the prices, and you know, so there's this entitlement. So it's unfortunate though. It's an unfortunate reality.
All right, Brain. So besides Craig out here breaking NDAs on shit he's reviewing, what do you think about? You know, do you think developers, publishers are getting a sense of entitlement? I mean, because to demand gamers, you're reboot bombing us. And gamers are like, nah, we give you criticism. We pay for this shit, and we're gonna tell you your shit's not right. What do you think, Brain? Do you think gamers are at fault for this? Or I mean by a fault, that wave of support developers, support the devs, and all that stuff. What do you think?
I think it's that, and then I think that gamers are at fault for creating the entitlement or partly creating the entitlement. I think businesses or developers are at fault for having the entitlement from the gamers. And I also would like to add in, it's a bunch of confusion as well. Like to your point, I mean, I don't understand how you want me to support a company that is in the business of making profit, but I'm supposed to support them as if they are a charity case. I mean, I support soup kitchens. I'll support maybe a nonprofit organization. And I put that in asterisk, but I'm not going to support a developer because this is my passion project and I put my heart and soul into it. Hey man, that's all good and all, but if it's not, at the end of the day, if you're selling me something and it's not a good product, man, then all of that don't mean nothing. I mean, I can't buy things off of sentimental value. I can't put something on layaway for sentimental value. This is just crazy. I mean, somebody said it a little bit earlier, and I'm gonna give credit to that person in the chat, whoever said it, man. But it's just so much confusion in politics into things. Whereas I think there's I don't think it should be, but there is clearly a blurred line as to when you should support a developer or support a business versus when you shouldn't support a business. And I use the word of support as an example. Hey, Porter Rock, he opened up a restaurant and it serves really good food. He opened up a restaurant, but now his business is in danger of shutting down because he's not getting enough business. That's something that I would like to support because I'm not supporting him because he has because he's in business. I want to support him because he's making good food and and he deserves, or whatever. And I would think that he would deserve to stay in business because he has a good product. I'm not just going to support a business out of the goodness of my heart. Like that's just, I mean, it's just nonsense. I mean, it can't be greed on one. It can't be greed on one hand and then charity on another hand. Like this is nonsense. Oh my goodness, man. It's just a bunch of confusion and entitlement, and unfortunately now we're not now, but we're at a point whereas it wouldn't surprise me if other game developers would do the exact same thing as far as feeling as though because of they put their blood, sweat, and tears, or they put 18 hours into this to make a product, man. Like we're entitled to our support. I mean, you got paid for those 18 hours, so that's your support. As far as getting paid, not the loyalty to these from customers to buy your product, or loyalty from your customers that, hey, because you made a bad game, we shouldn't say anything about it. It's just a bunch of nonsense and confusion and entitlement, man. That's pretty much all I got to say about it.
All right. Okay. My man, Brain was about to stand up, turn the camera on, start flip on the industry, boy. I felt that little. I saw that little spice, boy. Like that, you were like, you know what, boy? My man was about to go on that road trip. Boy, he was. Brain is like, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Extreme. What do you think? Do you think there's a bit of we're nurturing, gamers are nurturing entitlement, where devs now can just feel like they feel comfortable coming out and saying, hey, you need to stop giving us negative reviews or you're gonna hurt our business? Like, the fuck?
I don't know if the phrase support the dev has been permeated so thoroughly that it could have caused such an effect. But what I will say has been permeated is a sort of parasocial relationships that gamers now have with developers, publishers, or just figures in the industry, right? Because a lot of people pretend that these people are your friends. Obviously Phil Spencer being the greatest example of them for all of these things. But even with like a lot of companies, there's people who literally take offense if you talk badly about the developer, right? Like I was listening to Weapon Wheel, and then was it Broken Games pointed out the fact that gameplay has fairly lackluster gameplay when it comes to GTA has fairly lackluster gameplay when it comes to the shooting mechanics. And one of the people on his panel literally lost his mind because you were criticizing GTA, or I guess Rockstar, in the same breath in any way,
How
shape, or
dare
form.
you? They were like, how
Listen, he
Greta
lost his
Thunberg?
mind.
How dare you criticize Rockstar?
Absolutely, that's exactly what happened. And it was a fascinating moment because I was like, first of all, I agree with Broken Games. Like the aiming and shooting in GTA feels awful. Like it feels downright awful. And it's a game where, listen, you are a hammer and every one of your problems is a nail. So shooting is all you do. There's no diplomacy mechanic in GTA. So for the main thing that you're doing to play the game to not feel good, yeah, that has to be called out. Because listen, back in San Andreas days, PS2, we understand. But when it's been GTA 4, GTA 5, and we have to obviously see what's going to happen with GTA 6, I say there's room for criticism. That should be fair. But again, we've developed these parasocial relationships with these companies where we feel like they are somehow, attacking them is somehow attacking us, or criticizing them is somehow criticizing us. And I do think that does look back to the developer to now be like, hey, you guys should do me a favor and go ahead and make these positive reviews in order to keep my business afloat. And I think the brain was saying it earlier, like, we don't have to. Like, if your business is going to rely on reviews, maybe it's a bad business, or maybe it's a bad business strategy.
Facts. Yeah.
So it's like, at the end of the day, these parasocial relationships do need to stop or to be severely restricted when it comes to anything related to video games.
Okay. All right. Great points you made up, because you're right. Social media has created this, and I would have to say you can't really blame the business. They took advantage of it. they took advantage. I think they're taking advantage and have a strategy of how to appear that they're friends with the consumer. Because when you create their attachment, now what you did was you created an attachment of getting the money from those relationships rather than the straight business of capitalism, which is simply you make a good product, I will buy it. Now it's, oh, I have this personal relationship with a company. They talk to me. They keep me updated. I like their values. Yeah, I'm always going to buy their stuff. But you're not, you already decided to buy the stuff regardless of whether the stuff is good. And if the stuff is bad, you see it. People defend it. Hey, case in point, Xbox gamers. They're defending almost I'll be honest. That's probably, you could probably argue. I think there is no argument. Phil made a lot of bad decisions, but I will say the one decision he definitely mastered was the ability to convince that Xbox is a family. Mm-hmm. He did masterful job of that. You know what I'm saying? So that way, any faults, they will protect the brand. They will protect the thing. I mean, literally, the thing collapsed. Right? Xbox collapsed from what they expected in 2020. They're not getting anything that they hyped in 2020. Nothing. The Xbox delivered nothing to the fan base of 2020, 2021 when they had all these, expectations of, Microsoft buying Bethesda so they could get the exclusives, the hardware, the cheapest point of entry so they could get that mind share back, the more powerful console to get the best experience of games, all these things of what they imagine Xbox, and that's not what happened. Xbox is ultimately now just a third-party game publisher for multiple platforms. That's not what they expected. That's not what they hyped, Yep. But yet they defended. They completely changed what they originally wanted. Because now if you talk to Xbox gamers today, none of them talk what they originally wanted. Now it's, oh my God, it's the value of Game Pass. And then that's it. It was more than that when this launched, right? Yep. But because he created this family, nurtured this family, community.
Cult-like dynamic, really.
Yeah, there you go. Cult-like dynamic. They're willing to forego their own personal demand of what they actually wanted because you're not going to go against the family. You're not going to go against the community. You don't want to be outcasted. You still want to be part of the community. So you're going to forego your own personal view of a product and what you pay for it because what's more important is being part of the community.
Yeah. Basically,
and that's just being nurtured.
Needs are greater than the individual's needs.
Yeah. And that's not how it's supposed to be for products. Oh, shit, ouch. All right. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy. But that, that's a good point. All right. Let me move on to the next topic, which is, they're asking, game companies are reportedly baffled by Microsoft's multi-platform strategy, reluctant to develop for Xbox consoles. Mohammed Al-Bari article says game companies are baffled by Microsoft's multi-platform strategy and they are reluctant to develop games for Xbox consoles, according to a new report. During the latest episode of the Game Business Show on YouTube, editor-in-chief and co-founder Christopher Dring mentioned that certain publishers and developers he has spoken to are baffled by the multi-platform strategy of Xbox. From their point of view, it limits competition within the console space. They are now questioning why they should even bother developing games for Xbox consoles if this is Microsoft's strategy going forward. According to Dring, that's a balance that Microsoft's going to have to strike. Dring pointed out that Microsoft needs its consoles to remain relevant as they are the gateway to the company's premium game subscription service, Xbox Game Pass. As per him, a lot of Xbox Series XS console owners are Game Pass subscribers. He believed the value of the subscription service from a consumer point of view is starting to become really appealing, with AAA games now costing as much as $80. The Game Business co-founder shared his anecdotal experience with Xbox Game Pass. He's been a subscriber since 2018, and the last Xbox game he purchased was Sea of Thieves. He looked at how many games he would have bought if it wasn't a Game Pass subscriber, and he realized that Xbox may have made more money off him as a subscriber than they would have if he had bought the games individually. As such, he believes the subscription service is becoming quite appealing. Last year, SkillUp associate Edmund Tran had the opportunity to interview a series of anonymous game developers, and the overall takeaway regarding Xbox was that Game Pass resulted in a behavioral shift that led to very few sales on the platform. The general sentiment was that the existence of the subscription service has created a vicious cycle. One such developer released an award-winning title on Xbox more than 2 years ago after initially releasing on other platforms. They mentioned that their game sales on Xbox have been the weakest. It's a bit like trying to sell a DVD to someone who uses Netflix. Sure, people still do that from time to time, but you're not targeting the right audience, they said. All right. So this is a byproduct, which I think it shouldn't be a surprise. If the people who create the console is not pushing the console, then why should someone else push the console, right? And then as a developer, you have to ask yourself, right? Do I make the decision to protect my own company? Say if I was a publisher, or even as an indie dev or an individual development studio, do I make the decision to protect my own investment, my own company, and said, you know what? I'm no longer making games for Xbox because I'm not sure what Xbox is doing. Or do I take the risk and keep making games for Xbox only for one day till Xbox come out and say, oh, we're not making consoles anymore? And I invested more money thinking that they will keep making consoles only for me to be told, oh shit, Microsoft's done with consoles? I'm like, then I could have stopped supporting you years ago and saved the money, right? Or Microsoft, let's say, does release a console, but it's really a PC, and they allow Steam client to run on it. That's the same thing. Because I'm like, wait a minute. If your next console is really a PC, pre-built PC, and Steam can play on it, why do I want to make a game specifically for your Xbox store? I could have just stuck with Steam, and your console base will still have access to my game. You're wasting my time, you know? So I'm going to start off with Brain real quick. What do you think about this? Was this a natural byproduct of their decision of supporting PlayStation? Do you think devs are thinking, if Microsoft don't get their shit together, then I'm not going to put, my company at risk, wasting time and resources on a console that even the people who make it don't really care about it? What do you think?
Man, you hit the nail right on the head. It's the latter for me. And to me, that's the normal way it's supposed to be. I mean, when the Dreamcast, I'm gonna use Dreamcast. Dreamcast was a great system. No doubt about that. No question about that. However, Dreamcast didn't have the mind share, or it didn't have the mind share or the market share that it could have potentially had. So a lot of developers did not put their games on Dream. A lot of third party developers did not put their games on Dreamcast because of, hey, like you just said, hey, if I put my game, if I'm a developer or a publisher and I put my game on the Dreamcast, there's a good chance that it's not gonna, I'm a be in the red. I'm not gonna, or I'm not even gonna break even. Xbox, the original Xbox, and to me, this is where I learned my lesson, and I think it's really relevant to right now. When when Microsoft stopped supporting the original Xbox back in 2005 because the 360 was coming out, I don't think there were too many third party developers that were still putting games on the Xbox because of, you're right, if the console maker or the corporation isn't supporting their product, then why should I? I mean, the whole point of me of putting my game on a particular console is to get the greatest chance of getting business and making money. And you know what? Honestly, I'm not even too sure why this is even a question, but we need to get out of this kumbaya era as far as when it comes down to games. And I just say this again, you're older than me, but we and a lot of people on this chat remember, when you buy it was a time when you bought a certain console, you was buying that console not even just for the first party, but even for the third party exclusives that you couldn't get anywhere else. And a good example for me would have been the original PlayStation back during the fifth generation era. Hey, if I wanted to play Final Fantasy, I can only play Final Fantasy on the original PlayStation. That'll be a reason for me to buy a PlayStation. Tekken is another good example. I think from Gen 5 to Gen 6 to the PlayStation 2, Tekken was exclusively on PlayStation. It wasn't until the 360, that Tekken moved over to other platforms, and I say the reason why they did that is because of the fact that they saw how badly PlayStation lost market share with the PlayStation 3, and a lot of their market went over to the 360. So to me, I think developers and publishers should only go where they have the greatest chance of making money. Again, like I said a little bit earlier, these developers aren't in business to, for out of the goodness of their heart or for charity. They're in the business of making money, making profit. Period. And they should go where they have the greatest chances to do that. And pitting your games on a bad platform just doesn't make any sense. I want to pit my again. It doesn't make sense for me to pit my game on a system that doesn't get that much exposure, but I want exposure. To me, that's just an oxymoron.
You're muted, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
am muted. I am muted. Okay, appreciate it, right? Okay, how about you, M? What do you think about this? I think you were like the first person that put in a chat before the video went live. You like, I absolutely think they're gonna leave.
Listen,
M wasted no
just
time. Like,
listen.
even on the preview, he's like, yes, they are gone.
Listen. We've already been talking about this. I think I've been one of the people, that have been the most adamant about this fact that Xbox is pretty much dying. Um, but anyways, what I was going to say is that just like gamers do not owe your business success, developers don't owe your business success. Okay, Microsoft is going in a direction that, let's face it, alienates most of the industry, gamers and developers included, and it's a direction that can only work for them, right? And when Sean Layden was asked about Game Pass and everything like that, and I think it was given pushback by Destin, and Destin was like, "Well, Microsoft has said that it's profitable." And what Sean Layden said is that, yeah, the house will always win. The casino will always make money. But what you've got to ask yourself is it beneficial for the developers themselves? Is it beneficial for the partners themselves? Because at the end of the day, Game Pass will always make money. Microsoft can always tweak the levers, they can always balance how much money they pay out versus how much money is coming in to make sure that they are always in the black. It will always be profitable for them as long as they want it to be. But the question is it going to work for the developers? And let's face it, just like we talked about the parasocial relationships, there are always in every industry and in every business, there is always a dialogue between a company and then the culture that they foster around the products. Microsoft used to be very bog standard in that you paid for games a la carte, and then that was basically the deal. Then they saw the idea from PlayStation Plus, they saw the idea from Netflix, and they thought, why don't we combine the two in the gaming sector and basically create Game Pass as we have it today, where the games were offered from the first party studios. And in so doing, they changed the culture. And then on top of that, they went out and they said, not only are we going to do this for our games, but we are going to do this with third party games as well, which is again very customer friendly move in terms of like, for customer acquisition, very, very good. But again, you inform the culture now that a lot of these games that people genuinely would have paid for and genuinely wanted to play will be available through Game Pass, if not day and date, then at some point down the line. So then you inform the culture, and then people got to the point where they realized that, wait, I don't want to pay for these games a la carte anymore because the person that holds the keys to the house literally is letting me do this with their own games. They are going out and then they're acquiring other studios or acquiring other games titles to come into Game Pass. So I'm not going to do that. But here's the thing, that does not work for most devs. Most devs require that a la carte, that day one, that full price title purchase, because that's what they base their estimates and the finances on. By the time that they get you a sale, they want you to have already made most of the nut. Like they want you to already have made their money, by the time that you ever get to the first sale, the first 10% or 20% off. They want those sales to be there to gather a little bit more money, to extract a little bit more profit, but they don't want those sales to be the thing paying for like the rest of the fees or the mortgage or whatever, right? So it is what it is. The Xbox community has been informed by Game Pass, and it makes it super unfriendly to most game developers. Most game developers do not have the backing of Microsoft, and most Game Pass deals nowadays do not have the glitzy money that they used to get to be able to be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to forego 99% of my profits on your platform because you've given me such a large upfront payment. Those things aren't happening anymore. Just like with Netflix. Netflix isn't doing those kind of things anymore. So it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, subscription services have major downsides. You can look at it across the board. If you are an artist on Spotify, streaming, you barely get pennies on the dollar, right? Like there was something like, was it Snoop Dogg? He had like, I think he showed a receipt where he got like 20 million streams and they sent him like $200. Like that's how much revenue you get from Spotify. It's ridiculous, you know. Same thing with games. These developers, they are not going to be paid enough money to be able to buy themselves a second house based off subscription services. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Xbox is not backing down from Game Pass, though. In fact, we can argue that Game Pass is bigger now than the Xbox platform itself. So, yeah, if I was a game developer, I would look at the situation and I'll be like, right, I'm going PC, I'm going PlayStation, I'm going Nintendo. Unless I have an amazing Game Pass offer, I'm not even going to bother with the Xbox version because that's just money down the drain. The analogy that the person had before, that was the best thing. You cannot sell DVD to a Netflix subscriber. Trust me. Trust me, you can't, you know? And for example, you know this, Portugal, you talked about it, 4K Blu-ray versus streaming 4K, night and day difference.
It is.
Absolutely night and day difference, right? Especially if you are like me and you've got the sound system set up to take even more advantage of that, right? Listen, I've brought people into the house and I've been like, I'm gonna show you one scene from the Netflix, one scene from the Blu-ray, and we're gonna compare the thing. Everybody says, "Oh my god, the Blu-ray is so
Not
much
even
better."
close.
Like,
It's
oh
not
my
even
god, I
close.
can't even exactly. Everybody knows it, but you could not take that person and be like, "Okay, now go buy Stranger Things on Blu-ray instead of watching
For
it on Netflix."
$100.
You
Yeah, wait,
could
what?
not. You
No,
could
now
not do
not.
that. No.
No.
So it's the exact same thing with
Mm.
Game Pass. You cannot tell a person that is used to Game Pass and likes the Game Pass environment. And let's face it, like I said, Game Pass is not bigger than Xbox itself. So if they have Xbox, they are permeated in the Game Pass mentality. You cannot get that person to pay for clear obscure, like, and I'm not saying that people should pay for a game when it's available through subscriptions. I'm not saying that. But even if a game isn't available and it was just as
To
big
change
and
their
just as
mindset.
good as clear obscure, you're not changing the mindset. You're absolutely not changing the mindset. So stop putting it on that platform. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy. And at the end of the day, the people that do want to buy for your product, well, that culture is on the competitors' platform, whether that is Steam, whether that is Nintendo, whether that is PlayStation, or whether that is like the Epic Game Store or whatever it is. Those people exist and they are over there.
Okay. All right. Oh shit, we got Ghost up in here.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey,
I just wanted to
what's,
want to make a
what's
real
going on, my
quick
brother?
point, and I think
Right.
a lot of people are missing. When Microsoft went with this endeavor of Game Pass, it was a shift in 2007 because they were having lackluster sales, right? So this was a pivot in 2017 to improve engagement, to get the MAUs up, and to offer something different than your competitors were. Okay. So then you fast forward to now where they're making a second pivot, right? Where at the beginning of this generation, they introduced new consoles, and then shortly thereafter they made this pivot to, you don't need the Xbox or you don't need no console required, and then now they have this multi-platform strategy, and one thing that people are failing to realize is Microsoft's not asking for their no company wants just their $80 billion back. Okay, so if when I was in the private sector, right, and if let's see, operations came and had a budget for them and they wanted to borrow 20 billion. Okay, cool. We then talk over it with our shareholders, our investors, our board members, our C-suite executives, and no company just asks for what you use back. They want to see a return of the investment, and that investment is measured by the returns that your shareholders and everybody else. So everyone thinks that like, oh, Microsoft's going to make their $80 billion. That's not the point. They want to double. They want to make a quarter and a half of that money that they spent. So when you look at the big scheme of things, it's not just 80 billion that they're paying back. It's 80 billion plus interest plus the returns to your shareholders and everyone else. And that number is quite a bit more than 80 billion. Okay. And I think a lot of people miss that point. And so that's why you're seeing this drastic pivot of putting their games everywhere so they can make immediate returns. And I don't see another console being made because the console has been one of the biggest strains, to their revenue or losing revenue. We already know that the consoles lose money, so why would you create another one to lose even more money, especially when you're making games with, selling your games multi-platform with Game Pass, et cetera, et cetera. And I just think people need to, I get where I'm at. Like, not 95% of the people are not in the know about certain aspects of relationships with your shareholders, your investors. But it's common sense. Like, you don't go take a loan out from the bank and you pay that amount back. You pay interest. You pay everything else, and that's just part of it, man. So I don't know the number, but I always hear people talking about 70% that Microsoft's going to get, but in that 70%, they have to pay so many expenses that kind of cut against that 70%, and in reality, it's probably more than like their net profit or their revenue that they're actually using to build games is really quite low, like 20 to 25% that they're actually bringing home and putting in their coffers. So that's what I got.
Yeah, because you don't pay it back with the revenue. That's just the revenue coming in. You have to pay it back with the profit. But the problem is some of that profit has to go into future projects for game development. So how much of it goes back into paying the 80 billion? So that's going to be a little bit, right? And clearly Xbox by itself wasn't going to get there. It's just not enough console sales, right? And people are still confused with the console market. Even to this day, I still talk to Twitter users, right? Like literally 2025, and they still don't understand, the main inherent point of a company releasing a console. They basically don't understand that the console is a marketplace. It's the store that you get into people's homes, and then that interaction with the store, buying games, buying peripherals, subscription services, everything that you do, that's where the money is at. And that's the whole point, right? But in order for that to work, you have to have a certain amount of consoles out there globally, right? You can't just have 20, 30 million and be perpetually stuck at that number. That number has to be, I think, realistically in the 100 million. You have to sell 100 million consoles every generation to make that business worth, right? To make it fiscally worth it, right? Microsoft's not going to get there. They're never going to sell 100 million consoles ever again. So like you said, if you're not going to do that, then why bother releasing the console, a new console, especially when now gamers have other venues? And Microsoft has done a good job repeatedly of mentioning people, you don't need this console technically. We're going to let you know, guys, you technically don't need the console, you can get it on PC, you can get it on cloud. I can see Microsoft really investing in their cloud strategy. And they could easily just say, hey, the next strategy for Xbox is just cloud-based device, kind of like Stadia or whatever. And they're just, small, cheap, affordable. They could sell it for profit and boom. Because the culture did change, like Extreme said. Most Xbox gamers, they're Game Pass gamers, right? Because that's really the thing. Like, how many Xbox gamers play on Xbox without Game Pass? It's probably not many, right? There's probably very few people who are the old guard, right? Or the old way of thinking. Like, I own an Xbox, but I don't have Game Pass. I just straight buy everything. There's probably not a lot because I don't see anybody talk like that. I don't see people saying, oh, yeah, I got an Xbox, but I don't subscribe to Game Pass. I buy everything. You don't see that. Most people that have an Xbox have Game Pass, right? So Microsoft could either just say, "Hey, we're not making a console. If you want Game Pass, you still have the option of PC or this cloud device, right?" So when a consumer's faced with that choice, I would imagine some is going to be like, "All right, I'm gonna go get a PC because I don't want to stream," but some might choose streaming because the Game Pass is now the platform, not so much the device, right? So if they still want to stay on Game Pass, you got to go where it's at. And if Microsoft says we don't have this console, we don't have a console for Game Pass, what they're gonna say? Well, I'm not on Game Pass no more. No, they're gonna find a way to stay on Game Pass one way or another, because their consumption changed. They like not being able to, they like the fact that they don't have to pay 70 and soon for Xbox games $80. They definitely not gonna try to hear that. So if they have to jump on PC so they could just stay enjoying all these games, then that's what they're gonna do. And so I kind of agree with you. I don't think Microsoft's going to release a console. I think they're going to put these gamers in a position of, hey, you want Game Pass? Here's the options: PCs, PC handhelds, cloud devices. But we're done with console because the group is too small. We don't sell enough of it. There's really no point investing in this console. You still have access to Game Pass. Pick the way you do. And then if you have the few that be like, all right, I'm going to whatever, revolt or take a stand. I'm buying a PlayStation. Ha! That'll teach you, Microsoft. Well, that means now you have to buy the Microsoft games. So then there's no losing in that front. Okay, so pay the $80 for the games. Okay.
Microsoft
Gee,
would always win.
you showed us. Yeah.
100%. Microsoft would always win. That's what we mean by the houses will always win, right? Like they can always play around with the strategies. Like they can increase the prices on a la carte games. They can increase the prices on Game Pass, right? They can take away Xbox hardware if that is just a complete disaster financially. They will always find a way to make the business work for them, right? Microsoft is not getting out of gaming. They're the biggest publisher, they're gonna get their money. But when we were talking about the question at hand, should devs like drop Xbox? Absolutely. It's a sinking ship, and Microsoft is the one sinking it. Let's not forget, like, Ghost came in and then he told us about how this was a pivot and everything. But there were many ways to have done a pivot towards Game Pass without sacrificing the Xbox console. Simple example, if you had had Game Pass exclusive at least to the actual Xbox, not on PC, right? That would have been one of the things that you could have said, hey, I'm doing this to preserve the appeal of my console. Because now, again, if you want this service, come over here and get it over here. But they decided not to. And I'm not saying that would have been successful, by the way, but I'm saying that at least it wouldn't have just put out the console to pasture. The whole dual strategy with the Xbox Series S and the Series X. Anyone, anyone with half a brain should have been able to tell you that developers will find this to be troublesome. And I always say that as a game platform, as a platform manufacturer, and Microsoft should know this, the developers are your first customer. And they should know this institutionally because that is why Zoom died, right? That is why Windows Mobile died. Also, Windows Phone died. Actually, Windows Mobile and then Windows Phone, both of them died because of that. Because the devs were not attracted to the platform. So Microsoft, as a company, should have the institutional knowledge of like, hey, if we create a hardware platform, the very first people we have to get on board are the developers that are eventually we want them to use this platform. And they didn't do anything there when it came to the Series S and the Series X because there was no developer on the planet that was ever going to be thoroughly happy about that strategy. So listen, they sent out the Xbox platform. As far as hardware is concerned, they sent it to die, And nowadays we had recently leaks of this the Asus was it the Asus Xbox hybrid thing? But if Microsoft was truly back in hardware, right? People always say that, oh, Cerebon said we're going to see the biggest leap that we've ever seen in technology and everything. If Xbox was truly feeling that, they wouldn't need Asus to partner up with. They would have just created their own design and their own thing from the ground up, in-house on their own. Because I'm sorry, that is always the best way to address the things that you want to address, to create a custom solution for you. Like, I'm in a home and I'm lucky enough to have designed custom furniture because it fits my aesthetic, it fits the function that I want, and it is something that is unique to me and the way that I like to, accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. So yeah, if Microsoft was like, yeah, we are back into this and fuck it, we're gonna try the hardware route, in terms of handheld, then they would have just created from the ground up their own design without anyone else's, without any third party's input, right? But no, instead of that, they went to with something that honestly looks to me like a slightly customized off the shelf part. Like they just took a Asus ROG Ally, they gave it a slightly different shape, and then they were like put an Xbox button on that, and that's it. That's what we're going to call our own version of the handheld, which is super disappointing. And to me, that just means that listen, there's no new console. Like if you could not be bothered to design a handheld, you're not going to bother to design a brand new entire console. Like a home console takes way more effort than a handheld. So yeah, it's not gonna happen, guys. It just developers leave Xbox. It's okay. And listen, we don't owe Xbox success, right? There's plenty of people that keep saying like, "Oh, I want Xbox to stay because I don't want Sony to be the only one." Fuck that. There haven't been competition in the last 10 years.
That's true.
People always say, "Oh, I
We
don't
need
want to see
competition.
arrogant Sony." Listen, you are seeing arrogant Sony. This is it. This is your nightmare. This is what's happening. And that Naughty Dog can take 7 fucking years to bring out the game is because there is like, what do you think? Like, what do you think is going to happen when Xbox leaves? It's this. This is happening. It's been happening.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care for Xbox staying here. What I want is a new person to come in and pick up the slack. Like, that's how you get genuine competition. It's not about preserving. Like, no one cares that BlackBerry died, Motorola died, fucking HTC died. But we do care that we still have Samsung, Google, Apple.
players.
We still have Nothing Phone. We still have plenty of people that are giving you choice and bringing you options. So it's not
They're
about
competitive.
preserving.
They're actually
Exactly.
worth it.
Yeah, that people actually want, that the marketplace actually supports, right? So it's not about this weird sacrosanct image like, oh no, we can't lose Xbox. Fuck that. And this is what we've come into with the media. That's why they always treat Xbox as if it's the underdog and everything they do is the greatest thing ever. And it's like, no, the market doesn't support your position. Hi-Fi Rush wasn't Clear Obscure, even though they were talking about it the way that I talk about Clear Obscure, right? It never was that, because you want to support the underdog. Fuck that. You don't owe anyone your support. Okay. What we want is to make it so that their market is open and welcoming, and Sony doesn't use any anti-competitive practices to lock out future competitors because Xbox has completely bowed out. Forget about Xbox. They're gone. They're dead. Just invite Apple. Invite fucking, I don't know, Tencent.
I would love to see Apple.
Invite somebody
I would love
else.
to see Apple, but they're invested in AAA gaming. Sure, indies and all that, not exclusively, but they have the same mindset as PlayStation, but in their own way. Like, hey, we're gonna make compelling games, get the best studios, best developers in an ecosystem that's built on whatever tools, exclusives, and I would love to see Apple, but I don't know if they'll. I doubt they even care about that. But I would love to see an Apple try to be an actual direct competitor to PlayStation. I would love to see that. I think so. I think Apple will
What
be
I
able to
love
do it.
about that, do you know what I love about that? The fact that the console will be at least $1,000, and then people can stop pretending. People can stop pretending that consoles were meant to be the cheap alternative.
That's not a lie. Them consoles are expensive. But what I like about Apple, they're creative.
Yeah, no, for me, I know that
be
worth it.
They would be the only technically they're a creative company. And I think that's why helped Sony, PlayStation have that advantage, because Apple's also into creativity. They also have their own little music thing. They got Apple TV, so they understand. They got their Apple dedicated shows, so they're kind of like Sony, like in a sense of creativity for music and art. So they will have that same mindset. We're going to create art, not just, So that's what's going to be like. Wow, I think they could be a good competitor to PlayStation because they have that kind of same vibe. Huh?
And the hardware will be well designed, and it will be, very functional,
and it'll just work.
like that.
And it will just work.
It will work. and it probably will work across your different experiences like iPad, iOS, Mac
They'll
OS, and
find a
everything like that.
way to make the whole iOS
Exactly.
environment just great.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that Apple will be a fantastic competitor to come into the space. The hardware will be good. It will be aesthetic. It will be well designed. The UI is going to be on point, and they, like we said, the creativity, the actual studios being championed, like you're creating artistry over here. That will definitely be a part of it. So
Mhm.
yeah, and they have the money for it. You know, they
Oh
can.
yes,
You
they
know,
got
they
money.
have the
They
money for
got
it.
yes.
Yeah,
They're a $1 trillion company, so they do
yeah.
have the money, and they got brand
And
recognition.
unlike Microsoft, they actually put the money in this product because when
And they
Apple
got
enters a
brand. Yeah,
product category, they want to be the number one at that
yeah,
product category. I think that's why they
yeah.
pulled out of the car thing. They were like, "Nah, we're not going to be number one, so we're not interested in doing it."
Yeah.
They spent 10 years working on an electric car, and then they were like, "Nah, if
Yeah.
it can't be the best, we don't even want to bother."
Yeah, and they got branding, global branding, right?
Yeah,
Like for electronic devices and home entertainment
yeah.
and just having that home
And they got
entertainment
partnerships
experience
all over the world, so they can get those products there. So
everywhere. Mm, I'd be like,
yeah.
Apple, get in the game. Get in the game.
Get in the game. Get in the game,
If,
and
if only,
come
right?
in and do something great. Other
Mhm,
companies that could definitely get in there. Obviously, you have a lot of the Chinese companies that could do it.
mhm,
They could afford to. I think culturally that will definitely be the thing, though. Would they have the
mhm,
culture? Because China tries to export a lot of its culture, and that is usually kind of like antithetical to the way that the West likes to do things.
mhm.
But they can still try, even if they try at home. Let's face it, China is such a huge market that they don't even need the West. Like there are games that are like the most successful games on the planet, and they've never been outside of China because
Yeah,
with 1 billion people, we
you
don't
got
need
a
you.
lot.
Like
Yo, they got a lot. Right.
yeah,
Let me do some super chats
yeah.
real quick. We got Glassdoor Gamer says Game Pass is turning into Ubisoft Plus and EA Play Pro. Not only will Xbox lose devs, but AAA Day One will avoid Game Pass. Microsoft is competition now. I think AAA, you like really. What was the last third party big AAA game to be day and date on Game Pass? It's been a while.
Clear
I think
obscure.
they've been, but is that big AAA? It's an indie, like the
It's not
budget
big
wise.
AAA. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
like
big
the
AAA.
budget wise, like 150 million, 200 million budget type games. They've been
I
going
don't
after
think they
Claire
pay for that.
Obscure, Liza
Yeah,
P. They've been going for
mhm,
those games. Moderate
yeah,
budgets, like and not taking
yeah,
away from the quality of the game, but I
yeah.
doubt if a developer spends 200 million on a game, that's not day and date on Game Pass. I
No,
think
developers
Microsoft.
have
I
wised
don't
up.
even think Microsoft's
Developers
going
have
after
wised
those
up.
games, huh?
I think developers have wised up to the fact that it's just not a good deal because
Yeah.
it just encourages that thing. And here's the thing, I will say this, okay? This is an argument I have no proof for. But seeing a game go into Game Pass, I genuinely believe cheapens the image of that game for gamers that are even on different platforms. I think a
Hmm.
lot of people are not buying into the whole hype behind Clear Obscure because at the end of the day, it's still a Game Pass game. And even if they themselves don't have Game Pass, they have associated that kind of mediocre attitude to anything that goes into that service. It kind of has that stench on it where people are like, yeah, really? Top 5 game of all time, and it's a Game Pass game. Please relax.
Like extreme
Relax.
chill. Like got it.
Yeah,
But it's kind
chill,
of like those
chill.
few movies that was in theater, but also on Netflix the same day.
Yeah, yeah. Like when a film is like,
Mm.
3 weeks later, it's available on subscription, you're like, even if it's still
Oh,
in the theatrical production, like theatrical run, you're like, I'm not gonna go see this movie at all.
it's
Like it's
just
garbage because why would you be?
yeah.
I genuinely think that being on a subscription service affects the perception of the game globally beyond the borders of just where it is,
Mhm.
because again,
Mm.
you just have that thing that like, yeah, it's a subscription game, and Game Pass in terms of
Yeah.
I think PlayStation Plus has had, I guess, a
A
better
few.
reputation,
Yeah.
because Rocket League and things like that, it kind of has had that whole thing where you're like, oh, they can be great. And Game Pass has had it as well. Like Clubs is a great example, but just not as often, because they throw so many things in there that just end up being meh. For
Mhm.
example, the whole what is it? What was Ninja Gaiden right? They
Mm.
put that shit in Game Pass. Then nobody said anything about it. It literally just went like a fart in the wind, right?
It did go by fast. Ninja Game
I'm
2,
telling
like
you,
it was like
no
a day or
one
two.
said anything.
It was like a
South of
day or two.
Midnight, I haven't seen like more than 5
South of
people
Midnight
mention
moved
South
on
of Midnight.
fast.
Disavowed moved on fast. Like Game Pass is just this
I even
revolving
forgot
door.
Disavowed came out.
I'm telling you, all of these titles, they contribute to this sense of like, oh, it's a Game Pass game. You know, because there's no one that says it's a PlayStation Plus game. That doesn't exist. There's none of that
Mhm.
branding in the community. When people say it's a
Yeah.
Game Pass game, it's not a glowing recommendation. So I genuinely think that
It's just a bad perception.
developers don't want to be associated with Game Pass anymore. And if I'm putting $200 million in my project, even if you're like, hey, Manuel, here's $500 million. If I truly believe in my product, I'm like, yeah, I don't want your Game Pass association. It's okay.
Mm.
Premium product is what we have. Y'all are gonna pay for it. That's
Mm.
why GTA 6 is not going to touch Game Pass. Not even close. Not even close. If Microsoft bought Take-Two, which is a suggestion that I've seen people make now,
Oh, because
if
Activision
Microsoft bought
Blizzard.
Take-Two, yeah, one of the stipulations to that deal will be, well, our games don't go into Game Pass.
Yeah,
I
no.
guarantee it. I guarantee it. That will be the
Ridiculous.
first thing they say.
All right. Alamoko with the super chat. Thank you. Says my theory is that GP will decline within 2 years because PC refugees will build a gaming library on Steam, Epic, GOG, and piracy. I think most do that now anyway. I more often than not, when I see a PC gamer talk about a game, even if it's on Game Pass, most of them opt to buy it on Steam, and a lot of them just simply don't like the Microsoft store. They just don't like it. And Game Pass runs off the Microsoft store client. And this is terrible. So they just rather buy it and enjoy the game there. Hmm?
I want you to know it is terrible. It's fucking awful. And I say this as a person that doesn't like PC gaming. The few times I try PC Game Pass on it, I'm like, yeah, I see why people hate
I heard, is it really that bad of an experience? Like, what is it? Because, like, for me, I'm thinking you just open up a client and play a game. Like, what's so bad about it?
The thing is,
he's like, in theory it is, but it's not like that.
Yeah. No, do you know what it is? Imagine a high-end luxury store, right? You've got the shelves that all lit, that everything, they've got the items, everything's kind of separate, and individual's got its own negative space around it. It feels like it's on a pedestal, every item, right? Now imagine the same item, same everything, same brand, but now everything is on the floor. Technically, you're still buying the same product at the same prices. But the presentation, the things around it, the accoutrements, it changes your experience.
The accoutrements?
That's the best analogy I can think.
Anybody uses that word definitely should not be giving ice cream advice. I'm just playing. Chocolate ice cream does not have the accoutrements. It's like, all right, got it. I just want a chocolate milkshake, dog. All right, Halamoko, he says, GP will also get a price hike. MS is bleeding money by putting games day and date. People may pay GP for a month to beat a game, but won't be paying monthly. I mean, yeah, I think that's a finesse where some people subscribe for a month and they knock out 2 or 3 games and let the subscription, right? Yeah. But I think that's really all subscription services. They initially give it to you a low price, but then they hook you in. They change your behavior of how you consume TV, and then little by little, they start upping the price every so often. It seems like Disney raises their price every 6 months.
I could not believe the
price.
It's
like $30. They launched at $8. They launched at $8 in 2019. Now it's like what, $28?
I remember when they launched.
In a span of 6 years,
like $10 or something. And I was like, $10 a month for all of Disney, and I think it even included The Simpsons. I was like, this is with incredible value. And then, like you said, every 6 weeks, it seemed like there was an increase to the point where now when I look at it now, because I haven't been paying for my own Disney Plus for a while, it's been like from a friend. And then I was like, okay, let me get my own. And I looked at it and it was like $26 a month in Australia. And I was like, what the fuck? $26 a month, especially because I'm only paying it for like one series. At that point, I may as well just buy the Blu-ray. Like, that is how ridiculous these prices have gotten. Most Blu-ray like discs usually come around like $30 or $40. If I'm gonna pay $26 a month for something I can only watch basically once, boy, I may as well just buy the Blu-ray. I may as well, because if I'm going to then show it to somebody else, another time, and I have to pay for that subscription again, I'm literally out of pocket. So yeah, nah, it's Jesus Christ. Jesus
So I
Christ.
think that's
And Max is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just how it is. They initially catch you with the value. Oh, it's great. Look all this content. And little by little, we
100%.
raised it by $2, $3. And you're like, all right, I'm watching so much stuff. I got this new show, this new upcoming show. We raised it again. We raised it again. And next thing you know, now they hit the point where now they hit profitability, but you're paying like, and then they do slimy shit, right? You're
Yes.
paying like $16, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna add ads, but if you don't want ads, you got to pay $22."
Disney Plus
Like,
has
what the
ads.
fuck? Yeah, Disney Plus. There's an ad thing.
No, even on the
And
premium
Amazon did that
subscription,
too.
They will give you an ad trailer for a different show at the beginning of your show, and I'm like,
wait a minute, that's an ad.
What?
That's an ad.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like, what the fuck? This is just because you make it skippable doesn't mean it's not an ad. That's an ad. Like, I paid for the highest tier, and you're still gonna serve me an ad? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So I think that's just the fate of every subscription service. That's going to happen to every single one. They will eventually,
including in games.
You're not going to get
they
this.
Will want to put ads in your games. Like, you guys that are thinking like cloud is the future, you guys are the prime targets for advertising, because you will have nothing to say. You like, what are you going to do? Put a disc in? No, you can only stream. You know, listen. All of these subscription services make less and less sense, and I think customers are wising up to the fact that that's why people try to play the system, because at $10 a month it wasn't worth it to go to the trouble of subscribing here, not subscribing there, subscribing there. $10 a month is whatever, just let it run indefinitely. That's why for so many people Netflix is the standard thing that they just keep running all the time. I keep Netflix running throughout all of the months. I have plenty of people that use my Netflix account. I just keep it running, right? Like, it's the standard subscription service, because let's face it, it was the one that established itself to be that way, right? But then at $20 a month, bro, you're starting to think like, wait a second, like the person said, even if I wanted to buy 3 full price games, which is usually what most people top at ads, they're just going to be like, no, it would be better for me to just buy a la carte, So at the end of the day, I feel the same way. For example, take the Last of Us TV show. If I didn't get given a Max subscription, I would have just waited for the Blu-ray, because it's not worth me paying $26 a month for a show that I know I will want to revisit a few times and rewatch a few episodes to kind of like analyze what was happening and everything like that. It's not worth it for me to pay for the subscription. I'd rather just pay for the physical Blu-ray and then have it available to me whenever the fuck I want, and at a better quality.
Okay. All right. Next super chat from Glassdoor Gamer. Phil wants that PlayStation Diddy oil. What? Oh man! All right, I add a new topic real quick, right? Because this is kind of in line with here we go, in line with the whole imaging of Xbox and all that. Apparently, Xbox Era Podcast contemplating dropping the term Xbox.
Random question.
The main reason is, if Microsoft is all about this multi-platform strategy, how does that bode for Xbox-centric content creators, right? Because most of these content creators are specifically content creators specifically for Xbox, and not what Xbox does for other platforms like Nintendo or PlayStation, right? PC, okay, they were like, all right, PC's whatever. But now they're going to talk about PlayStation, they're going to talk about Nintendo, they're wondering what's going on. But let's hear what they have to say to get a better explanation of what's going on.
Random question. Well, we've got some of the community here with us. How would you guys feel if Xbox era changed its name. I'm just floating this. I'm just randomly.
We've talked about it before, mostly just because we have somebody else's IP in our name, and you can't really do that long term.
But also, like, I'm thinking about considering like the nature of the way the industry is going, and especially Microsoft's particular push to be on everything.
Mm-hmm.
One name that was kind of floated internally here, and I'm just sharing this because, you know, why not, is we've already got an application named Day One. So we were like, you know, what about Play Day One? What about that? Because it kind of covers anything and everything. And yet it's still using a kind of like, you know, and we'd still all be us. It'd be the same content, just slightly different.
And Nick would still focus on Nintendo. The rest of us would still mostly use Xbox and PC.
Yeah. I'm just thinking out loud because I would love to. It would give us a lot more flexibility as well in terms of what we can cover. Because most of the time you're not going to go to xboxera.com for Nintendo news or PlayStation news and so on and so on. I wonder what that would do for like site authority and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always the dangerous part. We've been struggling just to get Xbox Era up in the searches, so it would be tough if it's rebuilding completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because nobody gives a fuck about Xbox. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen. That was not a impromptu, accidental conversation. They're not.
Yeah.
That you can't tell me. Oh yeah, just you know what if we dropped the name Xbox out of Xbox Era?
Yeah.
You know what? No, they're right now. That right there, they're planning it. And right now, what they did was they threw like a little bait or a little shot,
a little dot
to see the reaction. They want to see the algorithm. They want to see the negativity. They want to see the reaction, whatever.
Yep.
But the reality is, it's hard. It's going to be challenging for an Xbox-centric podcast to talk about Xbox, but not talk about PlayStation and Nintendo and all these other stuff when they're doing exclusive stuff. And Xbox is like, oh, yeah, we also like PlayStation 2. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, imagine you're trying to be an Xbox content creator, and more often now you want to talk about Xbox, yet the company who runs Xbox is not exclusively talking about Xbox. Like, how does that work?
Listen,
how does a content creator do
way.
more exclusive work than the company who owns Xbox?
Listen, let me put it this way. If I had a blog back in the days that was called BlackBerry Life, and then BlackBerry did
we
what
already
they
know.
did after the iPhone was released. Listen, I'm going to call myself Black Life very quick. That berry is being dropped, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call myself Black Apple Life. You know, we're just going to move
Black
right
Apple
on to the next thing. Listen, we are not doing BlackBerry anymore, okay? Xbox is dead. Everybody that has the thing tied into Xbox or a strong Xbox affiliation, leave. It's a sinking ship, okay? Just like you don't have a Titanic fan club, okay? That doesn't... Listen, that ship is gone. Okay,
they're going down like the symphony guys. They're gonna go down with the last note. They're gonna be like, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. That's how they're going to go out.
Exactly.
You know?
We are not doing this. We are not doing this. So listen, I don't even blame them. But even it happened with another Microsoft product, of course, Windows Phone Central. Now called Windows Central.
That's
where they started. Yeah,
it was originally Windows Phone Central. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And then the phone
now it's
got
just
dropped,
Windows
and
Central.
then the phone
got dropped
out of the name too. So there you go.
The phone got dropped. So the phone got dropped.
There we go. To drop the phone. So listen. At the end of the day, but also Play Day One is such a fucking shit title. Please continue working on that. Like, I don't know. Xbox Era is much better than Play Day One. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, so there was a genius on your team that you fired, clearly, because that's such a lame fucking title.
Play Day One.
Windows Phone Central to Windows Central.
That makes sense. And even better, because now, unless the company disappears completely, you're always gonna have something to talk about Windows. There's always gonna be a Windows topic.
Listen, I'm gonna do you a free bono, okay? Just a pro bono work, okay? First idea, okay? Gaming era, easy. Video
That's what it
game
says in the
error.
chat. Or
Easy. You know, like just
gaming
we
error.
can just keep the error there. You can't leave it, you know. Just make it, or like console error, or fucking I
Yeah.
don't know, like anything. Just keep, you can just keep speedballing, but just move away from play day one. That is such, if you call yourself that,
And that's a
I
stark
find myself
contrast. That's a
watching
stark contrast from the original
it,
name.
yeah,
That's like people will be
exactly.
confused.
You
They'll
know,
confuse
or
people.
you
You
know
gotta
what?
keep
You know
the
what?
error. They gotta keep the error.
Embrace your betrayal. PlayStation era. Do it.
Oh
Do
my
it.
god, that would be so
Do
funny.
it.
Oh
Do it.
man, that is funny. That is funny.
Do it.
But they gotta
Do
keep the
it.
error though.
Listen.
Glass.
Keep go the MBG route. Okay, just betray. Go from green to blue.
Just
There you
do
go.
it.
Be a
You owe
turncoat.
them nothing.
Yeah.
You don't owe them loyalty.
You don't owe
They
them nothing.
clearly wasn't loyal to you.
Exactly. So
Oh man. Glassdoor Gamer says with a super chat, they should name their channel Xbox Error. ERROR, Xbox Error.
yeah. I see you. Nice.
That would be funny.
That would be funny.
Be honest. That would be honest, and that would be funny. I think that would work for them because it would be hilarious. A lot of people would just jump on it for the humor. SNK, Game Pass era. You know what? That'll work.
See?
That's the new wave.
It's associated with Xbox, but it still opens you up. You know. There you go.
SNK. Thank you for the super chat. Says, what up, PR and crew? I can't wait to play Gears on PS5. Oh man, you being messy, dude. You being messy. That's just messy. That's real messy. All right. Let me add something else real quick, man. There's a lot of impromptu topics. But somebody came begging, and I shout out to him, man. Thank you. But Twitter handle Strange SJP added Insomniac Games and said, I know you guys are hard at work for Wolverine PS5, but the community will love just a crumb of information. I'll ask, how's your day going? Insomniac Games actually responded and said, hey, we're working on it. We'll share more information when it's ready and when we're able. That said, our day is great. Hope yours is too. And Strange replies, it's great. Thank you. We'll be patiently waiting and ready. You guys are the best. No problem, Strange. Thanks for the kind words. And then you have just a slew of people. No update. Shocker. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is team, 4 or 5 years. How you say? Or what like how you love it? What's the phrase you say? Yeah, road mappers. This is an L for road mappers. Like, goddamn, because they announced this and they showed us, a cinematic trailer in 2021. This is our Fable.
Yeah.
This is our Fable.
Yeah.
This is the closest thing to Fable that we got.
No, our Fable is
Fable's 2020. Pragmata? Okay.
Pragmata. Do you remember Pragmata? That was the original showcase.
Oh wow.
Was that Capcom?
I don't know.
That was the original PlayStation, the Future Showcase thing.
Oh yeah, I remember it never came out. That game ain't coming out. Capcom, especially now Capcom released their numbers of the most profitable they had in company history. That game ain't coming out. They dropped that shit.
Listen. That's one game that, because it was sci-fi looking, I was like, oh, I'm actually interested in knowing what this is going to be about. But yeah. Hey, listen, I've been saying this, right? And as this generation has gone on, one thing that I will say is that I'm glad that more and more people are saying, yeah, it doesn't serve me to know about a game 5 years out.
I give up. I agree. In fact, I'm down to 6 months now. If it ain't coming out within 6 months, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't care.
Pure cinema.
Not even the 18 months. I'm done. I give up. Hey, listen, I can't take it. I'm like, fuck this. I don't even want 18 months out. Nothing. 6 months. That's all you get. 6 months. It comes out within 6 months. You mention it. 6 months later, I'm playing it. Not even. I don't even want to hear. Don't even announce the game and then said we'll pre-order later. No. You announce it. It's released in 6 months. In fact, the day you announce it is the day you can pre-order. all at the same
This is the
time.
greatest victory I've had on this
I'm
podcast.
done. Yeah,
I
I'm done.
converted. I
Yeah,
converted Porter
I'm
to
done.
beat
I don't.
6 months or
I
less.
ain't trying to hear
Excellent.
about showcase. If you have a showcase, every game on the showcase comes out in 6 months.
There you
Every
oh,
game, and to include third party. Don't show me a
Thank
showcase,
you.
and then 2 years
Thank
later, I'm
you.
done. I'm done. I don't want
Thank
to hear it.
you.
I don't want to hear it no more. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I can't.
Sometimes you're just ahead of your time. Sometimes you're
It's
just ahead,
just,
but it's so good when the world catches
it's
up.
just
It's
done.
so good when the world
But I
finally
say this,
catches
I
up.
say this through pain. It's just I'm tired. I'm
Hey,
tired,
listen,
bro.
man. I
I'm
went through the
absolutely
pain.
tired.
How do you think I got here in the first place? It would just hurt me before it hurt you. I was hurt first.
I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of this shit. Like, fuck it. Just shut the fuck up. Don't even make sure it doesn't even leak. Don't tell nobody.
You know the worst. You know what the worst part is? When they give you a project name. Like, if you don't shut the fuck up,
Don't even do that.
I don't care about your fucking project name. Like when a team let's fucking go, they were like Project Gummy Bears. I'm like, why would I want to hear that?
Project Gummy Bears.
You disgust me.
Yeah, I don't want to
hear your project name.
I'm done.
You come up with a title.
Look at Factions 2.
Me the very first time I see it, you tell me within 6 months I will be playing it on my own terms. That's what I want.
Yep, that's it. Nothing more.
There we go.
That's
there
it.
we go.
I'm done. It's fucking old.
Thank you.
I
want. Can I just take a moment to thank some of my collaborators? I want to deeply thank Lost Solicide for this wonderful shit.
Yeah, I gotta tell you that. Really, this tweet with Wolverine, I'm like, oh my god! Like, I mean, Insomniac gave an honest response, which is cool.
Yes.
But I'm like, you know what? You should have never announced Wolverine in 2021.
I want to deeply thank Wolverine for this realization.
Right now, none of us would have known about Wolverine. People would have been like, whatever. Then they would have done a real proper announcement, and we would have been like, hold the fuck up. We're about to play Wolverine in 6 months?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. It would have been great. It would have been a great feeling.
I want to deeply thank The Last of Us Online that never released. Thank you. Your honorable mention.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. That game should be an example for other people because I didn't really, really care for Factions 2.
I get it.
But a lot of people were so waiting for it.
Because you're not the only one that has changed their mind. Because 2 years ago, when I was saying this thing, almost everybody was against me. You know, especially with like the whole showcase fever.
Listen, it's the radiator. It's my radiator story. You just gotta let us burn. You just gotta let us burn. You just gotta let us burn.
Man.
You know,
hey, listen,
let us burn.
I want to deeply thank every game, even GTA 6. I want to deeply thank GTA 6 for coming out. But you know what? Let's go honorable mentions. The granddaddies of them all, Elder Scrolls 7 or whatever the next Elder Scrolls is going to be. Yo, that trailer came out. They showed you some mountainous skies. People were like, what? And everyone were like, what? And everyone were like, what? You know? And people, you still haven't seen anything else. Oh, that title screen. Thank you. Thank you for bringing people over to my side. Thank you for converting people to my religion. Because, yes, the 6 months or less religion, you know, with our honorary member, Astrobot. Thank you, Astrobot. Thank you so much. Coming out, announced for the first time, released within 4 months, winner of Game of the Year. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our peak example.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, announcing game 3, 4, 5 years just does nothing. Yeah. You're literally, you might even be alive by the time the game out because they forecasted it so far ahead. I mean, at that point, it's just really no purposeful, you know. And I know I joke about 6 months, but the window from initial announcement to release needs to be short, you know, because if you announce a game 4 or 5 out, what's your vision? Did you even show gameplay? You know, you're probably still
supposed to have a multiplayer, but now it's not having a multiplayer anymore.
There is a huge gap of creativity and things you're going to implement, maybe things you don't implement. You know,
might not even be on that console. Might not even be on the console that people sold on.
No shit, right? Like, you know, it might be a cross-gen game on the PlayStation 6 for all we know.
Or like a Cyberpunk, you force yourself to release on a platform that is no longer performant enough because you announced the game in 2013, you know, or some shit, and now you feel like you have to release on PlayStation 4 even though it clearly isn't powerful enough, and you should have just held it back for the PlayStation 5 anyway. Like Cyberpunk would have been a wonderful PlayStation 5 title, you know, like if it came like in 2021, 2022, only on the PS5, and it had most of those technical issues already gone because the hardware was better. It would have sold consoles. It would have been a system seller for both Xbox and PlayStation. But hey, you know what? I'm just glad that finally a podcast member, the head honcho of this podcast, has finally understood the wisdom I've been preaching for years.
It's just,
so
it's
thank
just.
you, Podorock.
I'm just tired of
Thank
the pain. I'm just tired of the pain.
Yeah.
That's it.
That'll do. I don't care how you got here.
Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care how you got here.
Fuck this
As
bullshit. Like, I'm
as
just
long
done.
as you got
Don't
here.
announce shit until 6 months out. This serves no purpose. Get the game, take your time, do it in quiet. Don't make sure no leaks, no rumors. And when you're finally ready to show it, because you're about to release it, boom. And you'll get all of it. Everybody be excited, and within 6 months, people will play it. No problem. Glenzer says new Xbox podcast will be called Zero Frames, No Sales. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch,
Now
ouch,
they have
ouch,
120 frames on the
Okay.
PS5 Pro.
All right. Ouch. Okay. So we got that. Last topic. I was gonna talk about Stellar Blade future project, but I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna pretend that article didn't come out. I don't care.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about PSSR 2.0. Here we go. It says right here. PSSR 2.0. Sony's PSSR PSSR 2 upscaling will allegedly improve image quality and requires less frame time. Sony is allegedly working on a significant upgrade to its PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution technology, informally dubbed PSSR 2, or what I like to call PISSR, to which I coined that term, which aims to improve visual quality and reduce the performance overhead associated with AI-based upscaling. In his new YouTube video, content creator Moore's Law is Dead claims that Sony is currently working on training a higher image quality neural network that is lightweight, requiring a less frame time to upscale. While the company has now officially branded it as PSSR 2, internal documentation suggests that changes are substantial enough to warrant the label. Currently, PSSR's minimum internal resolution for 4K upscaling is 864p, which is already more conservative than NVIDIA's DLSS Ultra Performance mode that can scale up from as low as 720p. However, Sony has determined that image quality degrades noticeably when dipping below the 864p threshold. As per the source, with PSSR 2, the goal is to maintain or even enhance visual fidelity while using a more lightweight neural network, allowing for faster upscaling with less impact on frame times. One of the biggest challenges with the existing version of PISSR is its impact on frame rates. For instance, in God of War Ragnarok running on PlayStation 5 Pro, enabling PSSR modestly improves performance in demanding scenes, but capped maximum frame rates, limiting gameplay to around 70-75 FPS when it could otherwise reach 80 to 90 FPS. Sony is looking to overcome this bottleneck with the newer version of its AI-based upscaling technology. The updated PSSR algorithm will allegedly support 4K at 120Hz, 1440p at 120Hz, 1080p at 120Hz, and even 8K at 60Hz, depending on hardware limits and game optimization. The intention is to offer consistent, high fresh rate options across a variety of resolutions for broader gameplay smoothness. Additionally, the source claims that Sony is exploring a feature referred to as MFSR. Motherfucker sir, we're going to call that, which may serve as a higher quality alternative to traditional temporal anti-aliasing, TAA. Even if users don't enable PSSR for performance gains, this method may improve image quality in PS5 Pro enhanced games by replacing TAA with Sony's AI enhanced reconstruction technique. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is, if you remember about 6 months ago, right, when the PlayStation 5 Pro launched, what was the grift? Oh, I could build a $700 PC better. Oh, the PlayStation 5 Pro's not worth it. Look at PSSR, it's trash, whatever. And I think we've been saying, like, just with like new technologies that are software based, right, especially AI, it's going to get better. Now, the fact that there's already a rumor, but Moore's Law has been pretty spot on when it comes to technology. So usually, I think he gets his little leak so that way he can get the info out there. But by next year, potentially this PSSR 2.0 will be released. offering, better refresh rates, now 4K 120. And even if they don't make it, let's say, here's my thing, and this is what we're going to talk about. If they're aiming for 4K 120, 8K 60, and stuff like that, right? That means 4K 60, they pretty much got a grasp with it, right? Obviously AI upscaled, but they got a better grasp of 4K 60 that they're looking for the next leap on the same console with the PS5 Pro, right? So right now their target is like 4K 120, 8K 60, even if they don't successfully do it all the time. 4K, 119 or 95 or 110, 105, jittery, up and down, right? They don't get it locked at 120. Or if they do push for this 8K 60, real time, analysis from Digital Foundry shows, the game is more like 8K 50, 51 or 49-ish. Okay, fine. You're going to need refinement, PSSR 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. But if Sony's going for those benchmarks, then that means the 4K 60 benchmark is like, oh yeah, we got that. And that's what I want to look at. Did they really resolve and get PSSR 2.0 to where now 4K 60 is like, oh yeah, we got that. In fact, you could get 4K 60 with all the bells and whistles. We're actually setting higher goals. We're trying to get to the 4K 120 and 8K 60 realm. 4K 60, yeah, you're good. That's old news. What do you think about that? Because to me, that's what I'm looking for. They could flop at 8K 60, but if they finally got 4K 60 locked, oh, that's old news. PSSR, any developer will be able to easily achieve 4K 60. You're good. I'm happy. Absolutely happy with that. What do you think?
I mean, listen, I'm just proven right again on this podcast because if you remember when everybody was talking about what should be achieved on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I said 4K 120.
Yeah, you did.
And I said 8K as well.
And 8K, you did.
I did because I was like, this is what you put on the box.
He did.
And I was one of the only people.
Actually,
only people in any podcast to ever say that. And everyone was telling me, oh, it's not going to be a 4090. And I'm like, no, it has to be the thing.
We thought you were sniffing.
I'm telling you.
We thought you were
like
sniffing.
The rum and raisin ice cream. Sometimes you're just ahead of your time.
Nah, the rum and raisin is disgusting. Oh, that's disgusting. Raisin ice cream have no business.
Listen, let me tell you. But the point is this. I am extremely ecstatic to hear about this, right? Because what you said is 100% right. We have to think about these things as, first of all, Sony is going to keep making consoles. It is the marketplace. It's the only way that they sell you PlayStation. This notion, like you had a guest over here, King David, I think, that said no PS6. I mean, listen.
He's going to regret that. Shout out to David. He's going to feel the pain. It's coming.
Listen.
I try to help him on a podcast. I try to throw clues. Nope. I give it to him. He stood 10 toes down. I'm like, all right. We'll see how that works out.
That's what part I respect. Because if you're going to be wrong, at least be like 100% wrong. Don't be like trying to wiggle out of it. I can appreciate that. But
he's 10 toes down on that.
Even if they do not achieve this, even if they don't even achieve 4K 60 locked, but they are pushing that 4K 50, 55, that just means that the PlayStation 6 is guaranteed to achieve that milestone. And for most people, 4K 60 is pushing beyond the performance of your television set anyway. Because let's face it, most people don't have 4K 120 capable screens. Right?
Yeah,
I know
they're
getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
They still got the basic 4K.
Look at the whole population, exactly.
They got the basic 4K TV.
Exactly. You are not looking at TVs that are going to be pushing beyond 60 frames per second. Again, even monitors and everything like that. And also, let's face it, this just means that this generation, the hardware is so good this generation that even high-end PCs should be terrified. When you need to do the equivalent and you need to pay like 3 times the cost of a PlayStation 5 Pro on the GPU alone, just to be able to be within real, because PC gamers will be like, I get 120 frames all the time. Oh yeah, what resolution? 1440p with like the highest level of DLSS where it is just generating frames for you. And we are not talking about frame gen. We're talking about real frames. That's another thing. I love the fact that they are not doing frame generation because frame generation is a complete garbage system. I think that frame generation should actually be illegal. You should not be able to do frame generation. It's ridiculous. Upscaling though, upscaling is great. Upscaling is fine, right? Even your TVs do upscaling because
Yeah.
most TV broadcasts, if you're using the actual watching the sports live feed and everything, most of them are not streaming to you at 4K, right? Especially over the waves. Your TV receives an input signal and then it has
they
an
upscale it.
upscaler built in there to
Present
give
in
you a
4K.
good image. So this is a great thing. Upscaling is wonderful. So the fact that we're talking about 4K 120 of actual real frames, not frame generated, by some bullshit AI, is fantastic. The fact that we are meeting this target, even having it as a dream, even as a notion, as something that could be possible within this generation, that's fantastic. It just shows you the value that these consoles have given because they are literally going above and beyond whatever we thought. And it gives more credence to what you and I have always said, Podorock. This generation should be extended. There is no need, there's no technical need to leave this generation. In fact, I think it would be anti-consumer to start a new generation before 2029,
For
like
no
at
reason.
the earliest. Because
No.
it's just like what do I so you can just ask for more money? What is the point of that?
Hmm.
No, instead, they should do what they are doing now. They should take their time. They should squeeze out all of the performance that they can possibly squeeze out of the PlayStation, the piece of hardware that they have in the PlayStation 5 Pro as much as possible, right? And then when they're like, you know what, guys, the maximum we can ever get is 4K 80. That's it. That's what this box can do.
Well,
That
fine.
guarantees
And that's
that the
acceptable.
PlayStation 6 is going to be a 4K 120. Like that would be the thing that you put out. And then it's a wonderful thing. It's great for gamers, it's great for the industry, it's just great all around, especially because this technology will be shared with AMD. So it's not just a thing that is locked to the console
The PlayStation.
environment. It's something
PC
that will
cards.
inform the PC environment, and it will bring more competition to that platform. And then maybe Nvidia will not be able to get away with murder because some of these prices, I'm like, bro, do you not like people?
Wow.
Like, Jesus Christ, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. This is a wonderful thing. I honestly I'm shocked that it's happening so early because I thought there was going to be a longer delay.
Like a
between-
2-year maybe or 3-year.
Yeah.
Like within 6 months, we're already talking about this. That's amazing.
Listen,
That's amazing.
the PlayStation 5 Pro at 4K 120, it will feel like a full generation ahead of the PlayStation 5. That's what it will feel
Honestly,
like.
yeah.
It will feel like,
If they get it to that point, it would feel like it's a new gen console. And like it went beyond being a mid-gen refresh.
Beyond the mid-gen.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, so, and the fact that it's being talked about this early, and I know it's rumor, but Moore's Law is not, he's not the type to make up random because that's how he built his reputation. So, and given that it's anticipated for 2026, which is the same year for Grand Theft Auto 6, that's a little coincidence. It's a very coincidence. That would be a huge showpiece if Grand Theft Auto 6 uses PSSR 2 or is one of the first games to use it. And and if that's how they got 60 frames for GTA 6, man, that will put that. I think at that point, people are gonna have to start having a new conversation on the Pro. Originally they grifted and talked about, I could build a $700 PC. Now they're gonna be like, wait a minute, you have a Pro that's running Grand Theft Auto 6 at 60 frames with PSSR 2.0. That now changes the conversation. People are going to be like, wait a minute, now we really got to,
Do you know what I want them to do also? I want them to give a little bit more control, more refined control. For example, for gamers that play off monitors, even off TVs, but be able to say like, okay, you can do 4K 60 in Grand Theft Auto. Great, fantastic, you got it. Like you did it. You did the thing no one thought possible. But what if you could say 1440p and push 1440p 90 or 1440p 120?
A little bit more.
For example, if a person has a 1440p monitor, they don't need you to be sending a 4K signal down the line. Exactly. So, I know that it supports the 1440p resolution, but right now the console defaults to a very TV-like behavior. It's either 1080p or it goes to 4K. So that's a signal that it's sending down the cable, right? But if you were able to be like at the source, like, no, let me just tell you, don't go beyond 4K. But allow me to get a trade-off to get even better performance out of it, even if it's just a few tens of extra frames and everything
Even
like
if
that.
it's 90,
Fantastic.
80, it's still
Yeah.
because once you go
Still.
above 60,
Yeah.
70,
It just
80,
gets
it's still
better from
great.
there. It
Mhm.
just gets better from there, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that yeah, I would definitely love to have a little bit more control over what my machine is doing, because at the end of the day, Sony doesn't know my environment, right? They don't know what I'm going to be plugging it into. So if I can control and be like, for example, I have a TV that has a really good upscaler. So I feel comfortable if I were to send a 1440p signal that I can let the TV's upscaler do the rest of the work and bring it back up to 4K rather than the PlayStation 5 sending a native 4K signal, quote unquote, right? But yeah, I think that would be wonderful as well. And I think that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay. All right. So that's it. I think we kind of Gordo P23 with the Super just says, what do you guys think this tech will do for GTA 6? I think we kind of covered that. Hopefully if this tech does come out and launches, I would like to think Rockstar is intimately getting the information they need. It will be a great showpiece. Like this might be the way on how they get GTA 6 to run 60 frames. Get that upscaled 4K 60 off the platform, which would really put the console on notice. I think at that again, I think it could be the showpiece that now even the grifters gonna have to put some respect on Pro's name, right? And it's gonna put like a lot of gamers on notice. Everybody's gonna be like, holy shit. Like the Pro's like doing it. And the fact that it's doing it this fast. And it was funny is they just had to wait for updates. Obviously the first iteration of any software, it's gonna have to go through its its grind, its trials and tribulations. It's 1.0. It's literally the start of new technology, whatever. But they completely dismissed it as if they never heard of updates before and improvements, and it's just crazy, right? It's just amazing how any other product gets the benefit of updates and stuff like that, right? But yet for PlayStation, like there's no such thing as updates and 2.0, 3.0 versions. I guess you just can't have it. It's just interesting. Interesting
The funny
how
thing is that
that
the way
brand.
that it came out was already super promising, right? Like we just had Assassin's Creed Shadows that was again just like it's a night and the difference on the Pro. It really is a night and the difference. So what we already had was worthy of the $700 price tag. It's not a thing where you was just sold on the promise that eventually it will get better. It's like
And it
no,
did nothing.
what is in
They
the
already
box
started the game.
is great, But then at the same time, like you said, we understand, especially with these AI learning things where they have to feed it a whole bunch of data and everything. We do understand that this is a new direction for Sony. First of all, they haven't done this before at this level. But then at the same time, it's only going to get better. And it's a little bit like the Tesla cars, right? Remember when Tesla was popular and hot and everybody thought Elon Musk was an actual genius? And every like 3 weeks, it seemed, they would just add this feature where you're like, how come every other car doesn't do this? They were the first to kind of like, I guess, standardize this idea that you could just update your car from home and you didn't have to go down to the dealership. It was just a software update like a phone. And people were like, yeah, why do I need to go down to the dealer to have like a map update? Like that's silly. Just download it from the internet, So yeah, it's definitely going to be a wonderful system. And the the PSSR technology is just going to be this thing that honestly, it seems like it's going to give us more than we expected. Like they're going to push the boundaries to the point where I thought they would have reserved this kind of performance using PISA for the next generation console. But it seems that they really want to bring out as much performance as possible out of the hardware that we have today. Which again, to me, I'm like, hey man, extend that generation. You're doing the work. People are paying for these things at a higher price than they ever thought they were going to pay for, and they want to be able to enjoy the console for a while. Extended generation, let everybody benefit from all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I do have one more topic though.
Oh, go ahead.
I sent it to you on the Twitters, the DMs.
The Twitters. All right, let's see. The Twitters.
The Twitters have it. In the
Let's
meantime, Furious Legacy asks, what game am I playing? Listen, man, I've been on that Clear Obscure. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, man, this game is like, boy, it's cinema. It's amazing. Top 5 games of all time.
They
And
nerfed
it's
it.
replayable as fuck. Okay?
It got nerfed.
So listen.
They nerfed the shit
Listen.
out of it.
They nerf one little skill. Don't even worry
They
about it. You
nerfed the
won't even
shit
feel
out
it.
of it. That shit
They
got
won't
nerfed
even
now.
feel it.
All right. So,
So no,
the topic.
it's wonderful. Yeah.
All right. Let me read. So, it's the Doom article.
Yeah, it's a Doom article.
All right. Doom: The Dark Ages. PS5 physical release reportedly has just 85 megabytes on disk, and Xbox isn't much bigger. Requires 85 gig download. Wait a minute. So the disc on I'm thinking, all right, maybe they just replaced the M with the when it's supposed to be a G, but it only has 85 megs of data on the disk, and you have to download the rest, which is 85 gigs to play. Am I reading
Don't
this
buy
right?
this game.
Am I
Yep.
reading
Don't buy
this right?
this game.
So the disc has less than 100 megabytes of data
Yep.
on a Blu-ray disc.
An entire Blu-ray disc. Don't buy
And
this
then you
game,
have to
please.
and you have to download 85 gigs to play it. But a Blu-ray
Yep.
disc is 100 gig. They could have put the game on the disc.
100%.
The whole game fits on the
listen,
disc.
people-
If it's 85 gigs, it fits on the disc.
Boycott this game, please. Please boycott this game. Because if you let the developers and publishers get away with this, they're going to erode every single advantage that physical disc releases have. This idea that you own your game, that's not going to exist. Be able to play your game, sound internet connection, that's not going to exist. Please boycott this game. It's time. Even if you're a digital gamer, just boycott it for the culture. Because this is the moment you stand up to these things. Otherwise, this is going to become common. You know?
That is
and
stupid.
remember,
Like, I can understand if the game don't fit, but if the game's 85 megs, it fits on the disc. Just put the game on the disc.
no, but listen, even if the game doesn't fit, Final Fantasy gives you 2 discs in the case. It literally is just a few extra dollars for them.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the game doesn't fit, they can just give you a data disc and a play disc, like Final Fantasy has been doing for the longest. So it is not an excuse. Please, everybody, boycott the fuck out of this game. Okay? I'm not usually one to tell you to boycott shit, but this is the time. Because if you let Microsoft get away with this, the world's largest game publisher, they're going to do it again and again and again. And then eventually, physical discs will just be inconvenience and no upside.
So it says right here, Doom: The Dark Ages arrived later this week, and with physical editions now out in the wild, fans are expressing dismay amid reports the PS5 release includes just 85 megabytes of data on the disc, with the Xbox Series XS release seemingly not much bigger. Rumbling of discontent over Doom: Dark Ages physical release began over the weekend after one early receiver took to social media to report the Xbox version contained just 342 megs of data on the disc. That was followed by an update of the PS5 version from Does It Play, an account dedicated to testing commercial release to ensure they work internet-free. Does It Play shared screenshots from a supporter purportedly showing Doom: The Dark Ages PS5 physical release contains just an 85.01 megabyte stub and a blocker to go online and update on disk. That means purchasers of either console physical editions are required to download approximately 85 gigs of data to play the game. Images of Doom: Dark Ages physical release show an internet required badge on the cover, but the extent of the required download size seemingly isn't made clear. Eurogamer has contacted Bethesda for confirmation of the report and for clarity on its physical release strategy, but the publisher is yet to respond. We'll update the story if we hear more. The news follows similar criticism by players and preservationists earlier this year after Bethesda released Indiana Jones and the Great Circle with just 20 gigabytes of the game's full 120 gigabyte install on the disc. Nintendo has also seen pushback after announcing physical game key cards for Switch 2 that only include a download key. Early signs have suggested a significant majority of the third-party publishers will release their Switch 2 titles on game key cards at launch. Away from Doom: The Dark Ages physical release controversy, Bethesda's latest has received plenty of praise. Eurogamer's contribution, Christian Donut called it brisk and playful in his 4-star review, while Digital described it as phenomenal in their tech breakdown. Wow. That is crazy. A game that could clearly fit on a disc and they won't let you have it on the disc. So you buy the disc. There's just no point in buying the disc. You're just wasting.
No point.
You you pretty much like Like if you have to download the game digitally anyway, so you might as well enjoy the benefits of digital, which is just because like imagine buying a disc, right? For only 85 megs of data.
Yeah.
Right? And now you download 99% of the game. But the game won't work unless you have the disc in the console, even though the game didn't come on the disc. So you might as well
let's
just,
face it.
if you're gonna buy it, just buy it digitally. Don't waste time with the disc. You're just wasting time.
It's a waste of everybody's time and resources. It's a waste of printing. It's a waste of the environment in transporting all of these.
It should have been
and
just
shipping them
digital release only.
It should be digital release only. Like it's bad for the environment because it's not worth the fucking thing that it's printed on. You know, it's bad for you having to drive and use up extra resources and create extra ozone for all of us to breathe to pick up the thing or get it delivered to you when it's fucking worthless. Like, guys, I'm sorry, but this is like, it's such a shitty thing to do. And this is from $1 trillion company. This isn't some indie game that could barely get their stuff together. Like, oh, fuck, you know. Like, literally, Clair Obscur went out of game discs. And they were like, shit, we're going to go and do something so that we can give you the physical release the way you should have with the game in there. And I understand that there's always going to be patches and everything, but you need to get the minimum viable product at least given to you, you know, and then you can supplement it with patches and whatever else you want, right? Like, for example, if you don't want to play the freaking, nerf version of Clair Obscur, buy the physical disc
and
refuse to run the upgrade.
Exactly.
And then you will get it exactly
I'm gonna one-shot the fuck out of that game. And I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Be your prerogative, and it's going to be the way that you enjoy the game.
And I'm at the devs.
As you
every
should.
time.
As you should. I'll support you. Because the thing is, you're a physical disc player, and it actually gave you the thing.
Like, you can't stop me.
This would be like buying a book, right? Buying a book, and then only the first 2 pages are written. The rest are blank. And you have to like download the digital version to continue
and read it on your iPhone. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, listen, I'm just like, what the fuck was the point of you printing blank pages? Printing a blank disc?
They got the whole hardback and only 2 pages. Everything else is just blank.
I'm telling you.
They give you a code to download it on your a Kindle.
How can companies get away with this? This should be illegal.
I don't know.
If you sell me a physical disc, the implied understanding is that the game is within the disc. That is what is implied. Unless you're going to put a marker at the front that says no game data on disc. Yeah, no license key only. You know, but they don't want to do that because they know that people won't buy it. So for me, this is deceptive. I'm telling you, man, if I had the money, like if I had Ghost in the Garage money, I would be taking all these companies to court. Like, if I could call up my pilot and be like, take me to Washington, D.C., okay, I'm about to file a lawsuit.
Shout out to Ghost. He said, if I had Ghost in the Garage money, we taking these guys to task. Oh, man, that's a shame.
Honestly, listen, gamers, you fucked up when it came to the DLC and the whole summer. You fucked up when it came to microtransactions.
Wow.
You fucked up when it came to loot boxes. Don't fuck up on this one, man. I know most of you don't care about physical discs, but the principle matters. If a person is selling you something that is blank, you have to take a stand. Boycott the fuck out of this game, man. Come on.
All right. Hey, that's a great topic. That's a great last minute topic. All right. And to end the poll, 79% say, here we go. The poll says 79% say USA has better Italian food than Australia.
No, that's fine. The 20% were right.
There you go. Oh, anyway, my brother, we'll do your outro, man. We're gonna end the show over
here. Listen. I created a video on the channel, right? YouTube.com/InfoExtreme. Okay, go over there, all right? Go to my channel. And here's the thing. It says that this gaming generation is great. In fact, I think this is the greatest gaming generation we've ever had so far in the console space.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 100%. 100%.
Okay.
And if you want to hear my arguments towards that, I'm sorry.
You heard him. He said this is the best gen in gaming ever. So watch his video. So far.
Yeah, greatest ever.
It's still not over.
There's going to be no what is it? There's going to be no apologies. I'm tired of cowards always being like, oh, gaming is in a bad place now. You're in a bad place. I don't know what's happening in your life. You're in a bad place. Okay? Gaming is great. Gaming is fantastic. You know, Go listen to the video. I'll make more.
There you go. Shout out to Doughboy. He said, "Greatest ever?" Question mark. I guess you're gonna have to listen to the video.
You're gonna
Oh
have to watch the
man.
video.
And Glinza said, "That's like buying a console on eBay and they just send the box."
True, right? And then they tell you to download an emulator on your PC.
Oh, you get to download the PS5 emulator on your PC. They send you a code for emulator,
exactly.
for console emulator on PC. Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, and of course, I'm your only friend. These YouTube Street Porter Rock 77, and thank you for rocking out. Oh, I need to add this. This was episode 326 of 60 Frames No Like podcast, man. All right, but thank you very much, man. I'm working on the next live for this Friday. Yes, I'll be able to do the live this Friday. So stay tuned for more info on that and see if I could get a guest for this week. But until then, thank you so much for rocking out with the podcast. For me, the only friend is YouTube Streets. We are out of here. I will see you guys this Friday. You guys take care. Peace.